Every year, the festival gets bigger and better, drawing people from all over Nigeria and the world to Argungu River. The Argungu Fishing Festival is so much more than festivity. It is a way of life of a people, a unifying event that brings people with different backgrounds and history together to share. Enjoy. Celebrate and discover culture in its raw form. This is the Serikin Rua, the custodian of the Argungu River, the river that is only fished in once every year.
The Serikin Rua is in charge of the main pond. He makes sure it is secured throughout the year because no one is allowed to fish in that pond until during the festivities period. So he makes sure that nobody goes into the pond with the aim of fishing.
As is custom with the celebrations, many dignitaries and visitors were in attendance. They came from far and near to celebrate with the people of Kebbi State.
It represents identifying with a people and their past and a future they look up to as a source of integration and a build-up of their real identity.
The festival this year has been a very highly commendable one. Looking at the level of participation, particularly the foreign community, a lot of embassies, spreading over 30, are here this year to be part of this festival.
With their calabashes and fishing nets, the men gathered, waiting for the cue for the race to the river. The crowd also waited to witness one of the most interesting sights in the world. The gun has gone off. The competition for the biggest fish has started. For lovers of nature who had come from all over the world to be a part of the fishing festival, this was the sight they had come to behold. Hundreds of fishermen in this small lake fishing the traditional way. It was indeed a sight to behold. The winning fish has arrived, weighing 65.95 kg. This fish stole the show. Apart from the main event, which was the fishing competition, every year the festival comes with other thrilling side attractions. A beautiful parade on horses that brings out the unique beauty of the ancient culture of northern Nigeria. Camels were added to make the parade even more thrilling and unique. Just before the Durbar, there was the motorbike display. For friends and visitors who came from all over the world to witness the event, the Argungu International Fishing and Cultural Festival remains one of the world's greatest spectacles. Rich in culture with a mix of the modern, the festival was indeed a fulfilling experience for tourists and locals as well.
The displays down there, it was so colorful, very impressive for us.
Everything is amazing. I saw Durbar and it was spectacular for me.
It's amazing. It's absolutely astonishing. And the addition of these camels, we've been to the Durbar in Kano, but no camels. This is unbelievable. They're just beautiful. And the whole organization and the whole atmosphere is very, very nice.
Well, I love the camels. I had never seen camels curtsy before, and it was wonderful.
At Argungu, there was also magic. A car driving itself? Nothing but pure magic. At the end of it all, it was a refreshing cultural experience. From the organizers to the sponsors, the participants to the visitors, Argungu International Fishing and Cultural Festival was a resounding success.
Mr. President,
Mr. Speaker,
109 senators, 360 members of the House of Representatives, talking the talk, walking the walk as they debate on issues that concern Nigerians.
Mr. President, a time will come when the poor will have nothing to eat but the rich.
To avoid double taxation so that there is flow of business into Nigeria, Nigerians will benefit a lot.
We bring you the argument.
You don't need any accountant to tell you that some people are making fortunes on account of other people's misfortune.
Whether there was some abuse of dipping hands into any public funds of the Federation.
Accusations.
This is a good example of where corruption is not only eating into it, it's also creating a bad name for ourselves.
I've never heard the word pardon being an offense under any law.
It is not pardon. It is not incision. It's budget fraud.
Controversies.
There is the certain IG who promoted his girlfriend from sergeant to inspector to ASP.
We must have jobs and projects going in every local government, every federal constituency, every senatorial district of this country.
The recession has thrown Nigerians into economies nowadays.
Join me, Jamila Fegwa, on Gavel to Gavel every Saturday at 8 p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Mondays at 12:30 p.m.
Over 2,000 communities in Nigeria, each with its unique story. Some reel of comfort, most with its complaints. Whatever the story is from your community, we tell it. Let's journey together through streets, homes, markets, every nook and cranny to tell your story the right and the true way. Community Focus. It's all about you and your community.
My people see me. I know my people. My people know me. Nobody to let you make nobody daleru. One gosa for my people where they take pamasha. Second gosa for my people where sabi yo. Three gosa for you and me. Oh yeah, gosa, 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 gosa. ginger. I just call one day, I just call body one day, I just call ginger, I just call ginger, ginger. And inshallah, like yo, and inshallah, anything throw. And inshallah, anything stand alone, inshallah, anything come on, and you like I am a Corete, Mejiti Corete. You must celebrate, you must jubilate, no time to waste. You are Corete, I am a Corete, Mejiti Corete. You must celebrate, you must jubilate, no time to waste. I see my people, they love my music, they keep on rocking, they know what's up. We carry festival, they call me Presido. Make nobody gallery.
Make sure you call me to pick you up, okay?
Okay.
I don't want to see you hanging about with that artist boy.
Okay,
Stop
Dad.
man or dot man or whatever he wants to call himself.
Okay, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
You and I.
Fine girl from Zimbabwe. She is Kata Harare. Harare. Got me feeling like Mugabe. Mugabe. I'm more dada Makari. Oh Makari. I go they carry you, they go. Okay, that's the really go. Let go. I wanna marry you tomorrow. No, I'm a family where I go. Oh yeah. Now me and you go there together. Every season, every weather. The person where they form a play out. Let them say you get defender. Now me and you go there together. Every season, every weather. The person where they form a play out. Let them say you get defender. Excuse me, mademoiselle. So for me, power is my my life is wonderful because of you, baby. You know, get obstacle. I'm all for you. Fine girl from Zimbabwe. She is Kata Harare. Harare. I'm feeling like Mugabe. I'm more dada Makari. Oh Makari. I go they carry you, they go. Okay, that's the really go. I wanna marry you tomorrow. Yo, I'm a family where I go.
And baby, make you tell me if you're not the one for me, there'll be no other. Yeah, and you are my fantasy. Let me be your lover. Yeah. Say you're too good for me, I tell them their father, yeah. Promise you stay with me, I'm gonna be forever, yeah. My Sherry Coco, Ichio Bibo, I never do you a jolo. Your love is wonderful, your love is beautiful. Me and you will be miracle, me and you will be miracle. Go find out from Uganda. Uganda, she just got that Kampala, oh yeah, Kampala, got me high like Paraga, oh yeah, Paraga, she dey bust my medulla, oh yeah, medulla,
my name is Kate Henshaw.
This is Desmond Elliott.
Choma Akbota.
Hi, my name is Michael.
My name is Vicky Elliott. You're watching.
Keep watching.
Keep watching. Keep watching.
CORETV.
CORETV. CORETV. CORETV.
CORETV News. That's the news to watch.
I know they talk, man, they know me. I be rolling on that good loud. All my niggas know that it's OG. Me, I'm an OG. Ride with my real niggas. Pop brothers on now with my real niggas. No be lie, all these girls, they really feel us. They on Twitter acting like they can really kill us. Wait, don't walk by for me. Cause all the girls for the town wanna die for me. Say the truth, young girl, no they lie for me. They ain't my fault, your Lou, and now they try for me. You know I came from a city, no one made it rapping. They been looking at me strange cause I made it happen. From Yankee to Accra, city farm biz. Now they say I come farm, like where did they plant me? But Charlie, I'm cool, no sweat, everything nice. Charlie, I'm cool, feel my hands, everything nice. Charlie, I'm cool, no sweat, everything nice. Charlie, I'm cool, feel my hands, everything nice. Okay, give me space for that. Bartender, know the rush, put the S for that. Young papas, now me the run the place for yeah. Forget MTV, you know see our best for yeah. Oh, yeah. Put the corners in it. I said, shock you with it. Don't stop for quick. Wait, say, you a crazy girl. I did that on purpose, I'm amazing, yeah. You're 6, I'm fine off the Maven, yeah. Anything I do, you know, it's not golden, yeah. You know, I did a song about a week ago. Give a fuck about a chick go. Go high about a tree, go. Now I get followed. But Charlie, I'm cool, no sweat, everything nice. Charlie, I'm cool, feel my hands, everything nice. Charlie, I'm cool, no sweat, everything nice. Charlie, I'm cool, feel my hands, everything nice.
KKTV here again.
Shock you with it. Put the corners in it. I said, shock you with it. Don't stop for quick. Wait.
KKTV here again.
Me and you, is it go mixture in a man back and forth? Seesaw, anything you want, all the too short. Jale, again a me and you, is it go mixture in a man back and forth? Seesaw, anything you want, all the too short.
Combo, my sweetie honey, give me action like a Rambo. It be crime, the things you do, them go call me mopo. Back to the mo, I go down, no time for go slow.
Anything you want, all these.
If I were your girl, I never let you go. I never let you go. I never let you go. Yeah. Ooh, baby, it be the things that you do where they hide me. My my sweetie baby. Don't stop, cause I like it. Me on you, you on me. It go be like a sandwich. I tell you, the things to do when it go be like a movie, yeah.
Ni mi be finidi se me ba jadamo a je pe woni efa emi ma no go fun e pound euro pẹ̀lú sefa toju ba pa firi mo fe ka bira later o ye ko ti sọ fún e bi se bi ki se ma yan paper emi gbádùn gbogbo bó ṣe yin bi tire ni ìwọ gangan ló bu petrol sínú fire mi ọmọ gbe súnmọ́ mi emi ni kojo fún tin ba ko wo fún biri ta ni mo tún wá fẹ́ ko wo fún
Jobi olówó Jobi olówó Jobi olówó Jobi olówó ke call me on nítorí mo lówó sweetie my darling oh lo ṣe kókó body tó bá my body body tó bá my body 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 Judy body tó bá my body tó bá my ìyá sílífà ló ń jó yẹn síkírà ló ń jó yẹn àwọn nìyẹn ló ń jó yẹn ṣíkíṣíkí àyà wọn jẹ ló ń mi káwa má jó dòdì náwó olúwa náà sórí ìgbàgbọ́ wa bring glory àwọn aláìdá wọn ti kú sí gbòòrì sílífà máa jó dáadáa àwọn aráalé kọ́ jó dáadáa ẹlẹ́tẹ̀ bá aláìsọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹbí gbẹ̀gìrì gbẹ̀ ń kọ́ mi ṣáájó dáadáa Jobi olówó Jobi olówó Jobi olówó Jobi olówó ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ mi hàn nítorí mo lówó sweetie my darling owó ló ṣe kókó body tó bá máa body body tó bá máa body 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 Judy body tó bá máa body tó bá máa jó tó bá máa jó.
síbi tí máa lọ sí máa dé mo máa ní gúpì ọmọ pupa ọmọ dúdú gbogbo wọn ló kún bí èmi tí mo náwó fọmọ kò ṣe pé mo stupid ẹ máa wo kan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ yóò máa dàbí múbi ó wọ́n fa Sashi, kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe aṣí. Nǹkan tó gbé sẹ́yìn mà ló wà káṣí. Kí ló dé tó fẹ́ máa bú mi, kí ló dé tó yàká? Ọlọ́mọge bá mi jó dìde lórí àga. Ọmọ pupa wo nìyẹn? Ní kọ́mọ yẹn wá náà. Iṣẹ́ ló ṣe dá ṣe, owó ò ṣe dáná. Wọ́n lè pe wá bàbá, tó dá wà lọ́balọ́ba. Tóbi olówó má lè lọ máa jóbi tálákà.
Indomix. Jóbi olówó.
Kẹ́mi àgbà òsì.
Jóbi olówó.
Àgbọ̀dé.
Jóbi olówó.
Ṣẹlẹ̀ Bíjù.
Jóbi olówó.
Kọ́láwọlé ẹ̀dùn, èèyàn fáwọ́là. Kíkà.
Laviaji in the house now. Sham! Oh no! Yoruba boy on an Igbo beat. Mastercraft on a Nugo meat. This one a beans, no be Indomie. M.I.G. Jomio. Indomie! Shouts to my nigga, see the Q. Laviaji is the bigger crew. See the red and white, the red and white, the red and white, never really cool. So many girls on my cast. So many girls in my vest. Me, I know say I know be two-faced, but I seen more holes than a shoelace. To Baba, no be diabo. Na commercial and Baba na cabo. No be see I cover face. Na dabo. Jawo. Somebody batilo. I need somebody batilo. Somebody batilo. They go say you don't go meet Babalawo. Somebody batilo. I need somebody batilo. Somebody batilo. They go say you don't go meet Babalawo.
Change for them. Am I not from the Tampa? Abala am I Shisha with Tampa? I try hook VC with the vixen. I'm not change your request. It's addiction. On Shamalo Kubera, then sick by Loque. I just put him a little layer papa by Loque. See the Q, yeah, massacre, no look swear. I get the roof and sewa. Swear. Otimeme di pato. Tori mo sound and do over the papa mo start baba now. I'm in school like the proto. Onsa kotoja on da koto. I want to mobi tatin baba. On fait ka shibu fayin si pali dabo.
Somebody batilo. I need somebody batilo. Somebody batilo. They go say you don't go meet Babalawo. Somebody batilo. I need somebody batilo. Somebody batilo. They go say you don't go meet Babalawo.
Everybody talking about the profit, but they never talked about the hustle when he wasn't worth it. Getting big cake now, I was really getting muffins. I be rich, still I'm chilling in my coffin. For jam, change up for them. Somebody batilo, I need somebody batilo. Somebody batilo, they go say you don't go meet Babalawo. Somebody batilo, I need somebody batilo. Somebody batilo, they go say you don't go meet Babalawo.
Baby, I go take care of you, passing on it. Are you getting? Are you getting? All your problems, I know say solution, na ego. Are you getting? Are you getting? Mama born you, your mama born you well, and you're beautiful too. I want to hold you, I want to hold you. Girl, I love you. Girl, I wanna love you well. I know you fell in love, but nobody got you. When I got to your body, oh, my baby sick at me your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh, my baby sick at me your door. your body, oh. Now you wake up chop on my money, oh. Girl, I want to know who be who. You go top level. Where are you, Scooby-Doo? Most of your friends now baloo. Malo rekrekete, malo rekrekete. Thunder fire the person. We say I no go love you. Mama born you, your mama born you, and you're beautiful too. I want to hold you, Girl, I love you. Girl, I wanna love you. I know you fell in love, but nobody caught you. When I got to your body, oh, baby, sick of me your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up chop on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh. Baby, sick of me your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up chop on my money, oh. I'm gonna stick with you like a bamboo. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? Pepper the rest, tomato, you tomato. Are you getting me? Yeah. Are you getting me? When I touch your body, oh, baby, sick of me your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up chop on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh, baby, sick of me your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up chop on my money, oh. You know say I go shashamura, oh baby, shashamura, oh baby. Forget about up and Kelly. Only me and you, baby. Just me and you, baby. Oh,
Mix mouse up.
Hello and welcome to CORETV News on the Hour. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Former Governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Eze-Ife, says the issue of restructuring Nigeria should not be treated with levity. He charged the federal government to commence the process speedily in order to arrest the current scenarios bedeviling the growth of the country. The former governor made his appeal in public at the maiden governorship debate organized by the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC, Anambra State Chapter, calling for a holistic approach to the redefine the nation's structure. Correspondent Bamdele Ajayi completes this report.
In a bid to rid the nation of the secessionist agitations from different regions of the country, the former governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Eze-Ife, has advised the All Progressive Congress-led government to give Nigerians their desired aim of being a united country, challenging the National Assembly and the presidency to hearken the clarion calls of major zones in Nigeria who are asking for the restructuring of Nigeria as federated unit.
Therefore, if they allow restructuring, which they cannot stop, it's a matter of being short-sighted, because ultimately it's either we restructure or we disintegrate and get into oblivion.
Jesus.
Yeah? We, the Nigerian people, want one Nigeria.
While buttressing on the need to engage the political class on what would be their party manifesto to lead the state in the coming governorship election, the chairman of different political parties outlined some qualities expected of their leaders, which, according to them, inform the setting up of a debate among the governorship contestants.
Time has come and passed when you now get a ticket for a party and at the same time you are sure of your victory. This time around your vote must count, and the IPAC is here to put everything in order and telling you that no party is bigger than others.
It's only God that gives power. If you are choosing, you are choosing. Then you join others. You don't need to fight. It's not do or die affair.
The Guba candidates took their turns to reel out their plans of making Anambra State better than it is presently.
Last time I checked, their workforce was about 10,000. If the government could come in, invite them, and find out ways to help them and expand, we are going to, if we can cite maybe 3 to 4 more companies like that. This is just one company. Many sites here in different villages.
We also try and prosecute local government chairmen and other local government functionaries who embezzle local government funds.
The Independent National Electoral Commission had cleared 37 political parties to participate in the November 18 Anambra State governorship election. Major contenders in the race were, however, absent at the debate.
Former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar has appealed to Nigerians not to tear Nigeria apart. Abdulsalami says rather the youth should build on the legacies of the founding fathers and remain positive for its continued existence. He gave this charge at the official launch of the Emeka Yoko's Institute of International Studies and Diplomacy at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State. He also notes that all Nigerians must allow peace to reign, without which development would be impossible, noting that all hands must be on deck to make Nigeria greater. Also speaking at the event, a former Chief of Army Staff, Theophilus Danjuma, describes the present agitation for restructuring of the country as a good idea. He, however, says it should not be pursued with violence. The Senate set up an ad hoc committee to investigate allegations of corruption against the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation trading. The motion, sponsored by Senator Samuel Ayawo, is aware that the NNPC trading is composed of some outfits including Duke Oil, Hyacinth Carlton JV, NAP Oil JV, and West Africa Gas Limited JV, who have now been awarded contracts without due process. Jamila Fegwa has a report.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation seem to be in the eye of the storm these days, as allegations of corruption have bedeviled the nation's cash cow. Worried by the spate of indiscriminate award of business due to some outfits in the country by NNPC Trading, the Senate, through a motion, is calling for a holistic investigation into some of these outfits, some of which are not registered in or paying taxes to Nigeria.
Current GMD to allocate almost all products to Duke Oil. This is in addition to its automatic inclusion in the lifting of crude oil, gas, etc., which thus made Duke Oil a money-spinning outfit that is accountable only to NNPC.
The Senate is also aware that since the NNPC owns the NNPC Trading Limited and the refineries, they also shortlist companies that get allocation of products, lifting of crude oil, and the importation of products, thus giving advantage to in-house companies even where they lack the capacities to perform. Additional prayers to the resolution also brought out the recently trading allegation that the NNPC boss, Mike Kanti Baru, awarded contracts worth $25 billion without recourse to the Office of the Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachuku. The Senate eventually set up a 9-member ad hoc committee headed by Senator Aliyu Wamako to probe the leaked letter to the President on the alleged contract breach.
Investigate the allegations made against the GMD of NNPC by the Honorable Minister of State of Petroleum Resources as contained in his leaked letter to Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
These committees should take these two issues very seriously. They are matters that really go to the root of what we have committed to Nigerians in stamping out corruption, and they must be investigated and the reports brought back to us as soon as possible, and we hope that the quality of the report will continue to meet the standard that we have set.
The committee is to report its findings to the Senate for further legislative action within 2 weeks.
The federal government says the price of a bag of rice will become more reasonable in the next 1 month. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Aldo Ogbe, told journalists the rice millers and growers have become and are having meetings, and they both have agreed to pursue a plan that will stabilize the price, therefore crashing the price of the commodity.
That means that in the next 1 month, since harvest of rice has begun in earnest, the price of rice will become reasonable, and the cost of rice, as we've been hearing of, would have reduced substantially. We shall continue to pursue that.
Also, the federal government has approved the sum of 25.99 billion naira for the settlement of debt owed electricity distribution companies in Nigeria. The cost covers electricity consumed by federal government ministries, departments and agencies. Our State House correspondent Abiola Oluwole reports.
Which we have urged at the National Council.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said the federal government verified over 25 billion naira against the claims made by the distribution companies.
We've completed the verification, and as was announced to the monthly power meeting, and we now ask Council to approve the verified sum of 25.994 billion. Owed by ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government to be paid to the DISCOs out of the claims made by the DISCOs of 67.41 billion. Now, so there's a differential of about 41 billion. That differential arises first because some of the claims do not belong to federal government.
Fashola maintained that the verification of the claims by the DISCOs is still ongoing, as the state and local governments are equally expected to share in the debt burden.
There needs to be some more verification going on and undertaken at state and local governments, which we have urged at the National Council on Power about a week ago. And this is important so that government can demonstrate its support for private sector by paying its own debts, so that private sector can do what they do best.
Ordering investigation into the circumstances that led to the damage of some tubers of Nigeria yams recently exported to the United States is another development from the Federal Executive Council meeting.
The ministry will investigate, because the ministry is not an exporter. Exporters are private sector people. Will investigate both the company that exported it and ask our quarantine department to check and find out why such a consignment left here.
The Agriculture Minister also disclosed that plans are underway to repeal the law prohibiting exports of some agricultural produce in Nigeria. From the Presidential Villa in Abuja, Abiola Oluwole reporting for CORETV News.
You're watching CORETV News on the hour. Take a quick break. I'll be back on our stories. Please don't go away.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
You're welcome back. For more news and other stories, please visit our social media platforms. A group of Nigerian exporters have expressed plight over a Papa Road and port, stating that Nigeria's economic diversification is under threat due to the constant gridlock at the Papa Road. President National Cashew Association, Tola Fashiru, says most of the commodities are perishable if not shipped on time. More so, the road is a major hindrance to growth of business in the state due to the bad road of a Papa Expressway, which has become a great concern to business and prospective investors. They are calling on the federal government to intervene in what has become the source of constant hardship and gridlock in the area. Former President of Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, Olisa Agbakoba, has called the National Assembly to withdraw the non-governmental organization NGO bill, saying it is unnecessary. Agbakoba made the call in a letter entitled, "A bill to regulate NGOs in Nigeria is unnecessary," addressed to the Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara. According to Agbakoba, civil society movement is concerned by the implication of this bill and can see no reason for its proposed enactment, as there is a plethora of laws or statute books regulating activities of NGOs in Nigeria, thereby urging the NAS to withdraw the bill. In Ondo State, the state's governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, has denied having a hand in the recent suspension of some magistrates in the state. He made this denial while declaring open the 2017 Chief Judges Seminar with the theme "Dispensation of Substantial Justice in the Eyes of the Law," held in Akure, Ondo State capital. The state judiciary kicked out about 190 magistrates and senior registrars over what he termed irregular appointments. But Akeredolu, in his address, says the development was introduced by the State Judiciary Commission, NJC, as part of the ongoing efforts of cleaning the judiciary system. He, however, charges stakeholders in the judiciary to champion fairness, equity and justice while discharging their constitutional responsibilities. He noted that the seminar would go a long way in reforming judiciary and the society at large. The National Union of Electricity Employees is at loggerheads with the management of mainstream energy at the Jebel Hydro Power Plant in Kwara State over alleged sacking and victimization of workers. The union members held a protest in front of the power plant to demand the right of their workers to participate in union activities and recall of sacked workers. Correspondent Lukman Oyedeji's report is presented from our studios.
The workers, led by their union leaders, are protesting refusal of the management to allow for unionism at the workplace. They are also protesting the illegal sacking of workers, displaying placards with various inscriptions condemning the actions of management towards their workers. The union members say they have decided to occupy the power plant until their demands are met. They also allege that there is no condition of service at the plant, thereby subjecting workers to all forms of victimization and eventual sack when they stand up to their right.
From 2013, when this company was handed over to the so-called investors, They have made everybody in this company as a slave that doesn't have even a small freedom.
They wondered how the management could refuse unionism when the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria permits for peaceful assembly and association. The country heritage, they added, has been sold to few individuals who do not have the technical know-how to manage the structure and called on the federal government to intervene.
We have mainstream, a power station. The management is not here. The management of mainstream is in Abuja. Ask me, what are they managing? They are there managing their pockets.
Efforts made by the zonal union leadership to broker peace has continued to be frustrated by the absence of the management staff.
We have tried to interface with them. I wrote series of letters, up to about 8. There was no reply. The last time we met was 26 September 2016.
Efforts to speak with the management of Mainstream Energy Solution, owners of the Jeba Hydro Power Plant in Niger State, proved abortive.
Taraba State chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary School Teachers have joined their counterparts across the globe to mark the World Teachers' Day. This year's celebration is marked on the theme Teaching and Freedom, Empowering Teachers. The day is set aside to note the importance of teachers' contribution and value to the society. Away from that, the House of Representatives has identified 3 books for immediate withdrawal from the secondary school curriculum for alleged obscene language, thereby compromising ethical and moral values among teenagers in secondary schools. Mohammed Mahmoud, in a motion at plenary call in the House of Representatives to call for the critical assessment of the books used for students of secondary schools, pointing out that some books already call to question the level of morals impacted on students. Authority Osadebawe has a report.
Books such as The Precious Child, The Tears of a Bride, and Independence expose young students to behaviors and practices that promote social vices and corrupt moral values.
Those are the books that has attracted the attention of the members of the House of Representatives, who say the substance of the books are buried within detailed and unnecessary erotic circumstances and events, thus creating an impression in the minds of the young ones that undermines the teachings of ethical and moral values. Members put the blame at the doorsteps of 3 agencies. It also notes that the use of such books in schools resulted essentially from the failure of the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council, JAMB, and NECO, as well as the Federal Ministry of Education to perform their statutory functions.
To sanction the staff of the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council, the Federal Ministry of Education, JAMB and NECO, who were responsible for the recommendation and circulation of inappropriate books.
When the question was put before the House for a comprehensive review of the books for students learning at schools, as well as call on the agencies of government linked to the use of the books at school to appear before the House of Representatives and then explain why such flaws should be within the educational system, the response is indeed overwhelming.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it.
For the members, the present administration's war on corruption should be extended to the educational institution, which serves as vehicle for character molding so as to insulate the young minds for what the members see as direct compromise of their moral values. All of the agencies indicted in this are to appear before the House committees on education to explain their roles. Osaiti Osadebame, CORETV News, Abuja.
More on education. The Minister of Education, Adamu, has decried the poor conditions of teachers across the country. According to him, it is ironical to assume that teachers who are saddled with the responsibility of molding the character of future generations, equipping them with tools for greatness, would live and die in abject poverty. The minister, who says this while addressing journalists in Abuja on the activities that would herald the 2017 World Teachers' Day, frowned at the teachers' condition of service, promising to use his good offices to correct the anomalies. He also assures to make corrections by providing conducive environment to work. There are 207,818 unqualified teachers in primary schools across Nigeria. Registrar of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Josiah Ajiboye, says this in a paper presented to mark 2017 World Teachers Day in Abuja. He said the Northeast has 57.7% of the total figure because of the activities of Boko Haram in the region, having killed 611 teachers since 2009. Ajiboye further noted that there were 207,818 unqualified teachers in the primary school. He stressed that all this are adding to the problems of ascertaining the quality of teachers in Nigeria. The hydra-headed crisis, quality and quantity of teachers demand a strong policy response. He says the agency has registered and certified over 1.8 million teachers since the inception of the council. You're still watching CORETV News on the hour. We'll take another quick break. We'll be back with stories from outside Nigeria. Please don't go away.
CORETV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is CORETV.
Download CORETV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. CORETV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Outside Nigeria, the girlfriend of the Las Vegas gunman who shot dead 58 people on Sunday says she has no idea what her partner was planning. Marilyn Danley's comments came hours before police suggested Stephen Paddock had been living a secret life. They said he may have been planning to escape instead of shooting himself dead, but did not give further details. It is not yet known why he opened fire on an open-air concert, committing the worst shooting in modern U.S. history. Danley expressed shock at the horrible, unspeakable act of violence Paddock committed. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has called for more decisive action in response to the Kurdish regional government's attempt to split from Iraq as it joined his Iranian counterpart Hassan Rouhani in renewing their opposition to the redrawing of the Iraqi borders. Rouhani also declared his opposition to an independent Kurdish state, even as he said that his country does not mean any harm to the Kurdish population. On September 25, voters in the semi-autonomous Kurdish region of northern Iraq voted overwhelmingly to back a split from Baghdad, setting off a regional crisis. Aside from Turkey and Iran, Iraq's central government in Baghdad also opposed the referendum. The United Nations and the U.S. have also opposed the Kurdish vote, saying it would distract operations against ISIL as well as the civil war in Syria. And finally, world's football governing body FIFA has fined the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) just over $30,000 and issued it with a warning after fans invaded the pitch when they beat Cameroon 4-0 on September 1st. FIFA equally fined 7 other African nations for various offences committed during September's 2018 World Cup qualifiers. Gabon is accused of fielding an ineligible player, Melindandre, who should have been suspended in a 3-0 home defeat by Ivory Coast on September 2nd. DR Congo were also given a warning and also handed a major fine, forced to pay FIFA around $20,000 for incidents during the match against Tunisia on the 5th of September. There was a $15,000 fine and a warning for Mali after their home match against Morocco also suffered from improper conduct among spectators throwing objects. Other African countries fined Zambia, Morocco, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and South Africa. And that's it on CORETV News on the hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Good afternoon.
Governing a country full of complexities like Nigeria requires the support of everybody. The real players of governance take the decisions that affect your daily life.
Rest assured that this administration will continue to do all it can to rescue the remaining Chibok girls who are still in Boko Haram's captivity.
Let's remove emotion from facts. 1. Do judges have immunity? The answer is no. Can judges be arrested? The answer is yes.
We resolve to work together, the federal government and the states, to meet the challenges of our economy.
It didn't happen by accident. It happened by the hard work that this government has done since it came into office.
Tony Abiololuwole on CORETV News every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. as I take you around to the activities at the presidential.
So what is 60 Minutes with Angela all about? It's not an interview. I like to think it's a conversation between two people making the news, people who are in the news, and those who become the news. And the whole idea is to inform, to educate, or to clarify, as the case may be. It is an art getting people to answer the questions that everyone is thinking in their minds. And that's what we try to do on 60 Minutes with Angela. I ask all the questions that everyone's thinking about and no one wants to voice. All the questions you always wanted to ask, you get those answers on 60 Minutes with Angela. Every week on this station, 60 Minutes with Angela, getting answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
To Community Focus. On the program this week, we will be looking at another community in the Federal Capital Territory. In this community, something saddens my heart. It's the level of development in the community. Don't go anywhere, stay with us as they share with us their story. I remain your host, Sarah Yeku. Do we really know how much havoc we have wreaked on our cultural heritage in the name of civilization? In the quest for development, in the bid to be at par with the developed countries, most communities have changed their original names, dropping off their true essence to fit into the new world system. How did we get here is a question that runs through the minds of anyone who explores the various communities in this developing federal capital city of Nigeria, Abuja. Abuja, the capital city, was conceived about 40 years ago to replace Lagos, one of the most populous cities in the world. It is neglecting its original settlers, thereby creating animosity between them and the new Abuja settlers. The FCT has experienced huge population growth. It has been reported that some areas around Abuja have been growing at 20% to 30% per year. Squatter settlements and towns have spread rapidly in and outside the city limits, leaving tens of thousands of people occupying places on the outskirts of the central business district, in which many have been evicted since former FCT Minister Nasir El-Rufai started the demolition campaign in 2003, which other ministers of Tarim have adopted in clearing the city. Durumi is one of such communities that is predominantly occupied by low-income earners and FCT indigents. It is split into 5 districts, but not close in proximity. In Garki Chiefdom, the Pei, according to locals, is the supreme leader of Garki. Through him, chieftaincy is conferred based on his supervision and approval. Stemming from the Gbagi people, the Durumis or Dumakmas are predominantly farmers, but they say their farmlands have been taken by successive administrations of the FCT.
Dumakma, that is Durumi 2. Durumi 1, they were just like chief prince. That is, anything, when you are capable as a prince, you cannot be a prince, chief prince. The only thing you do is that when you are entitled of holding a chieftaincy, there is no how they will tell you say you should be a chief prince. And what we mean by chief prince, you that you are not an indigene, they will give you a chief prince. Because like me personally, as I'm sitting there as a chief of the Durumi community, there is something we call chief, not me they are calling chief. There is something we worship, then we call it chief. And a chief prince cannot see that. Like me, I cannot see that. The only person that will see is a chief prince that worship it. You understand? So Durumi 1, they are the people that they are chief prince in Durumi 2 community. This is the head of Durumi, that's Dumukma, on which I try to correct it, that we should stop. If there is a great time, in the sense, I will go further, I will change this name. Durumi is not my village name. Dumukma is my village name. Dumukma 2 is the head. And before they should give any chieftaincies, we do go to pay. And that pay means that hill, that's Gariki. Up to now, let me let you understand, that Gariki is not the pronunciation. It's pay. That is that hill, meaning that is in our language.
The Gbagi people of Abuja, the real owners of Abuja, the federal capital of Nigeria, they're also referred to as Gbayi or Gbari. They're present in 4 states, namely Niger, Kogi, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and spread over 31 local government areas in Nigeria, according to history.
Gbagi people, they are the ones that migrated this place and habitant in federal capital. Even Fulani, they just came. Igbo, they just came. Although we have about 250 ethnic groups. But in Dumukma here, in federal capital here, is Gbagi that owns it.
Alhaji Danjuma, the village head in Durumi 2, has been the Sahad for about 10 years. As there is only one ruling house, he is regarded as the leader of district heads in Durumi 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I'm the Sad Dumukmai of Durumi community. Sad Dumukmai means I'm the one covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You understand? But I let you understand again that there were ward heads when I was village head. But now they have upgraded them to village heads. But still yet, they still give me that respect because I'm their senior. And up to now, even in federal government, they know I'm their senior. We migrated from Kulape. The Kulape I make mention, it was a hunter who gave birth to my forefathers. He left Kulape to come and hunt and pay. From there he stepped down. When he stepped down, he now found out that this area is fertile. And that is why he migrated this area. And during that time, there was a war which people in Poi were living in that hill there. It is my people, the person that the hunter that migrated this place, that we inform people in the Poi that these people are coming again, and that is why they call us in this Dumukma, say pass by our side, because he is the one to inform them. Say these people are coming to fight you people again. From there, they will now step down so that they will succeed their fighting.
Quiet agitation bubbles in the hearts of these indigents. They say they have been cheated, and that is why they have no social amenities in the community.
It's very, very painful. Why I say it's very painful, there is no any social development or social amenity that I have ever seen. Although we normally write to the area council, And up to date, nothing has happened. All these things you see is the community effort. If you can go around, you see our primary schools, you see our drainage, there's nothing to write home about. Like this project now is the community that is handling the community, the youth. We tax ourselves and we are contributing. Sometimes you see our roads are not okay. They are not good. We, the indigenes of this place, we have to come out in mass. One thing that I believe in unity and continuous government, and that is what we can't wait for government all the time. And that is why we are doing these things, so that maybe one day the government will hear our cry and come to our aid. So if you can go around, you see there are some places that are even bought culvert now, and we are still lacking. I bought like 4 culvert that was supposed to put where the road has already, the water system has already condemned the place, the road. So I bought like 4, and 3 are still remaining with the community effort. And that is why we always pray that this government has come to say, and we pray for the president and the minister of Abuja and the AMAC chairman to come to our aid. And we strongly believe that one day, at least, we will smile once again.
Okay, so what do you think about the relocation exercise there? Do you think people should be relocated?
I don't buy that idea. There are many other things to do. You know, our people has adage. They say there are many ways to catch rat, but one way to eat it is mouth. You can imagine somebody is coming from Maiduguri or Enugu state. This is our ancestral land. You can't come here and tell me because the Aegis or FC they give you allocation, then you are asking me to just go. Things are not done in a civilized way. They should treat with the indigenes with caution, with maturity. We are not kicking against the development, but at least if you are developing the country or you are developing the state, there are some procedure you follow. You cannot just come. We are not animals. We are human beings. And you cannot just come here because your allocation fall in Durumi community. Then you are chasing people. We are not monkeys. We are human beings. And we believe that there's no way we can stop this development in Abuja. But if they want to develop, if it falls in our community, then we should come and sit down and talk and discuss and deliberate. Not that they should be coming with bulldozer, chasing us as if we are citizens of Nigeria. Things are not done that way. This world is a civilized world, and everything you are doing today is a global system. Before you know, people, I will believe that government will still come and sit down with us, because recently last week somebody came. He was kind of saying that he want to threaten us, that he want to bring bulldozers that we should provide the CO4, all those things. You know, we the indigenous, we don't have those CO4. So, and that is our angry, because we are not happy. The youth are not happy. What is happening to us today? In the government, we are not in the system. Everything is off. So that is all aggravating. We don't have scholarship. If you can check now, even our children are not schooling in the FCT. They go to Nasarawa, they go to Kogi State, because we that are living here, we Gbagi, we are farmers. And even though we are farmers, our children must go to school. We have to educate our children, and we don't have anything to do. And if you can look around where we used to farm, they have collected it with estate, all these things, the cashew we plant, all those things. There's nothing to write home about, and that is the only area that we are benefiting and we are surviving. Now you have collected the farm, now you are coming to the houses again. Then who are we? So that is our angry, that at least we are not kicking against the federal government, but they should do something, and they should do something. They should address this situation now before it turns to another thing. They should give us slot. We should have people to represent them. At least let them know that people, when the federal capital was shifted from Lagos, when they come, they know that people were existing. Why not? The Constitution of Nigeria is not favoring us. The Land Use Act is not there. We, the Gbagi, if you complain, they will say we should keep quiet. And please, the pain is already here, and we are begging the federal government to come to our aid to solve our solution, because we are not happy anymore. We check out around, we can see the indigenes are not around. Some of them go out to the various states to go and school, because we don't have the money to afford for our children. So these are the kind of things that are affecting us. If you talk of the kind of development, the social amenities are not there. Even up to date, we, the indigenes of Durumi community, we still contribute money to buy various transformers. I can mention up to 7. If you write to them, they will say there is no transformer. We, the indigenous, we have to sit down and deliberate. We contribute money. You know the way we do it? The house rent that we build, and that is the area that we are surviving. the only house rent that we build and rent it to people. That is where we pay money to feed ourselves, get money to send our children to school. And now they are after that. Then what are they saying? So that is our grievances.
So what the school that was built, it's the government that built the school, right?
Yeah, it was.
Isn't how accessible? Why is it that the children cannot attend that school?
If you go to that school, you can't see even seat for people, for children to sit. There is no seat. There is no things. Even though I can take you there, you go and see this sheet. The roof has already moved. How can you, at least as a normal citizen, we're supposed to be educated in a conducive environment. But if I should take you to that school, you go and see it by yourself, so that at least you don't know what I'm saying about. As this rain is falling now, the children have already stand because the sheet of the roofing has already removed. They had you and somebody to be educated in that kind of environment.
Concerning the social amenities available in the settlement, the head of Durumi clan is unhappy about the state of facilities. It laments the deplorable condition the school provided.
Well, in Durumi community, let me start with, water is our life. But it gives us an injury, something, and light. I cannot abuse federal government, but one way to the other, I will set my own feeling. Let me start with the water. Up to now, I buy water. I don't have tap in my house. 2, light. It's community effort. I think, if I may recall, I have about 7 to 8 transformers, which I bought it with community effort. Pole wires, nothing is being done by federal government. Wires, let me just say an aspect of light, nothing is being done. So up to now, I've been struggling to see that, yes, how do we solve the problem of Durumi? But in other areas, I don't know how they do. And let me come back to primary health care. I think before we should go to the hospital, we need to go to our primary health care before taking our patients to the hospital. But here today, we don't have it. Good roads. Let me just make mention of social amenities. You all know what is social amenities. So those are my problems. Like example of it now. In some areas, if you go now, you see, say, yes, they have developed healthcare one way to the other. Then what is happening in Dumukma? What is happening here? Those are my problem.
The idea of school buses is a luxury they cannot afford. For these young ones, they have to trek to school and back home come rain or shine. Durumi has a primary school undergoing renovation, and it also has a junior secondary school. The junior secondary school has 3 blocks of 8 classrooms. It harbors averagely 500 students per academic session.
Each block has 4 offices, and we have toilets for the children. So out of the 3 blocks, we have only 1 that is functioning, and they have just renovated it for us. So we are still waiting for the other 2 to be repaired. I've written to the office, and because of our complaint, that was why they came and renovated 1. So the other one, I sent somebody today to the office, and they told us they are still coming to work on it. And the last one has issue. It's a serious problem we have with that, and we are told they are coming to test the building to see what they will do. And it needs to be captured, but it has not been captured. They have captured the second one they want to repair. So we are still expecting the contractor. We don't have enough teachers. We need some teachers in some areas. That is like French, like languages, When I say languages, it means Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. Yes, we still need some teachers. We need teachers for English and maths and some other areas.
So if I want to buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will fee give you 500.
Sure? This one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans. We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody.
The majority of the law they pass belongs to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally. The people giving voice to the voiceless.
So how do you get water to drink?
All this water you see, all this stuff you see, we still buy them from Merua. They are the people, they are the commercial people that brought these things. They are selling it for by gallon. So we have to talk to them because this is our indigenous place. We have to talk to them. Anybody that is selling that kind of thing, we have to talk to him to agree with him so that he can supply this thing, because there are some head of water here that are here. When they do this construction in time of this road corridor, they promise us that when they transfer people from the other outside, bring them here because of that road corridor, they will come and give us water. And if you go there, there's water up to date. That water is there and it's not given to us. That's the problem we are facing, and we are not happy. Can you imagine that we are living in Abuja, but look at the environment, and nothing is happening, and they are collecting revenue. Well, Amak chairman is trying his best. We'll pray for him that at least he still come to our aid, because there is one project that they hold there with this ecological center. They built one gutter there, which we are happy. So what we are demanding now, please, and we are begging that they should come to our aid. It's not by force, but we are applying wisdom. At least, when somebody is there representing that, you should know the way you talk to him, so that that thing will come to you. You can check around. We don't have good road. We don't have electrification. We don't have water. It is when they cannot, all this Merua that they are selling their commercial stuff with, they cannot be able to pay for the water, but they'll come and cut the water and we'll be living 3 days without water. It's just like here. If you can check around, you see all this, they have already developed everywhere. And we are stranded. We are just hoping that we are praying that one day things are going to turn around. Yes, sir. This place has been provided by the community. We provide this place almost 15 years now. This land has been there. So we have been writing for the government to come and build a primary health care so that at least our women can give back in themselves. And nothing has been done. But we haven't given up. We are still writing for them, and we are still hoping that we believe that one day things are going to turn around, and the government will put smile in our face. So you can see this is the land. It has been there. I've been watching it. I'm the community leader.
So how have you been coping without the primary health care center?
To be frank with you, things are not easy here in the community like this. This community is a large community, and you can imagine that we don't have a primary health care. When sometimes because of that, some women lost their child or their baby in time of giving birth. And you can imagine that there's no, at least that primary health care can help. When the situation was now, they cannot transfer the issue or the case to the general hospital so that life will be safe. But you can imagine this Durumi community, the Dikma, doesn't even have the primary health care. And that is why sometimes even these cholera diseases are affecting children, and the children are dying. I could still remember vividly last time, even the Amak chairman visited because of those things, and we are trying our best. Government is not coming to our aid, and we are pleading that they should do something before things get worse.
We are appealing to the government. Let government do something. If it is in time of election, we always put hand to make sure that we elected somebody that will work. But when after the election, they will not remember us here in Durumi community. We don't know why. As earlier as other people have ever said, transformer issue, in fact, it has become a problem to us in Durumi community. Please, we are pleading on to the government, particularly the primary health care and the police station and the primary school. Let government put effort and let something be done to Durumi community.
As most communities across Nigeria grapple for the attention of the government on constant electricity supply, residents in Durumi say they have in the past years purchased power transformers since the electricity distribution company has not given them any.
If your business can manage candle, you manage candle. If like me, we get small gen, I use my business with gen. You understand? But government should do something. Not that we will be paying the tax and we will not enjoy the tax. You understand? The NEPA bill, no, it's not high, but it's high. The highness of it, I blame government. Make government tell me, say I'm from Pakistan or I'm from any of the local this thing. for me to know. But if I'm a Nigerian citizen, the Nigerians don't have to treat me as a Nigerian. You understand? I want like transformer. I once heard say transformer is free, but we buy this transformer. We buy this transformer. No, this one, present one now, we buy it. We used to buy. You know, say that time maybe that thing never come. Now this transformer where they here now buy, we buy them. Even if we go buy the meter, we know say see the amount is this. You understand? We will use like 2 month NEPA bill, or 3 months or 4 months. You go cover. We will cover that the whole 1 year. You understand? Then all these kind of things we are paying. We are paying flat rate. You understand? Which one big man say, you know, they pay 1/4 of it for a month, for 2 months.
What would you say would be the solution to this quagmire? Is it relocation or reintegration into the system of governance? You can share your thoughts on any of our social media platforms on our YouTube channel. You can watch this episode of the program or previous episode of the program on our YouTube channel, and you can share your thoughts on our WhatsApp platform, the number shown on your screen. You can also share those thoughts or what you think, your comments, to me at Sarah Yeku with the hashtag Comfocus, and you can do that also at CORETV News with the hashtag Comfocus. Thank you so much for watching. I am Sarah Yeku, and I'll see you next time.
Welcome to 100 Years in 100 Words. Cultures in Nigeria. Nigeria is a blessed nation. Our culture is shaped by our multi-ethnic groups. The country has over 50 languages and over 250 dialects and ethnic groups. Nigeria is believed to possess one of the finest cultures in the world, ranging from cuisines, clothing, languages, architecture, hospitality, traditional music, dance, art, and much more. The 3 largest ethnic groups are the Hausa Fulani, who are predominant in the north, the Igbos, who are predominant in the southeast, and the Yorubas, who are predominant in the southwest. The Edo people are predominant in the regions between the Yoruba land and the Igbo land. This group is followed by the Ibibios and Efik people of the coastal southeastern Nigeria and the Ijaws of the Niger Delta. The rest of Nigeria's ethnic groups are found all over the country, especially in the Middle Belt and the North. The Hausa tends to be Muslims and the Igbos are predominantly Christians. The Efik, Ibibios, and Ain people are mainly Christians. The Yorubas have a balance of members that are ardently of both Islam and Christianity. Indigenous religious practice remains important in all Nigeria's ethnic group. These beliefs are often blended with Christianity or even Islam. One cannot help but savor the rich delicacies from tuwo shinkafa with miyan kuka of the north, to the akpu with ofe oweri of the east, and inyo with egusi soup of the west. Who will resist the afang soup, specially made in the beautiful city of Calabar? Call it a fishing frenzy festival. It is one of the most famous cultural festivals in Nigeria, and it is celebrated to mark the beginning of the fishing season in Arugungu, a riverside town in Kebbi State, between February and March every year. It is called
the Arugungu Fishing Festival. Eyo is not just unique, but central to the city of Lagos, Africa's biggest metropolis. It is widely believed that Eyo is a replica of a modern-day carnival in Brazil. You need to attend festivals such as the Benin Festival, the New Yam Festival, Oshu Festival, and Shango Festival to understand the beauty embedded in Nigeria's culture. Nigeria is a blessed nation.
Governing a country full of complexities like Nigeria requires the support of everybody. The role players of governance take the decisions that affect their daily life.
Rest assured that this administration will continue to do all it can to rescue the remaining Chibokers who are still in Boko Haram's captivity.
Let's remove emotion from facts. 1. Do judges have immunity? The answer is no. Can judges be arrested? The answer is yes.
We resolve to work together, the federal government and the states, to meet the challenges of our economy.
It didn't happen by accident. It happened by the hard work that this government has done since it came into office.
Daily Abiololuwolu on CORETV News every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. as I take you around to the activities at the presidential.
Hello and welcome to CORETV News on the Hour. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has called on civil societies to join government in its fight against corruption to ensure the cleanup is a proactive one. This is coming on the heels for a unified nation to bring about oneness, as well as encourage the need to promote governance on merit rather than on tribes, ethnicity and faith. He also added that government has fed over 3 million children in 14 states and still counting due to constraints to work with the state government who are in charge of the schools across the state. Meanwhile, he implores Nigerian youth to demonstrate their interest in the political space. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has transferred a corruption case against the former Niger State Governor Babangida Aliyu to Minna Division of the court. Justice Nnamdi Dingba granted the application filed by Defense Counsel for transfer of the matter to Minna in Niger State. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is prosecuting Aliyu alongside his former Chief of Staff Omar Nasco for alleged laundering of ecological funds amounting to over 1 billion naira released by the federal government to Niger State in 2014. According to EFCC, the offence contravenes Section 18 of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 and is punishable under Section 15 of the same Act. Two members of the House of Representatives have dumped the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the All Progressives Congress. They are Zephaniah Gisalo, representing Abuja Municipal Buhari Federal Constituency, and Yusuf Tijani, representing Okene Ogori Magugo Federal Constituency of Kogi State. Tijani and Gisalo are the latest members of the former ruling party, joining the All Progressives Congress after their party lost out at the 2015 general elections. The Senate has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate allegations of corruption against the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Trading. The motion, sponsored by Senator Samuel Ayawo, is aware that the NNPC Trading is composed of some outfits including Duke Oil, Hyson Carson JV, Africa Gas Limited JV, who have been awarded contracts without due process. Jamila Fegwa has a report.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation seemed to be in the eye of the storm these days, as allegations of corruption have bedeviled the nation's cash cow. Worried by the spate of indiscriminate award of business due to some outfits in the country by NNPC Trading, the Senate, through a motion, is calling for a holistic investigation into some of these outfits, some of which are not registered in or paying taxes to Nigeria.
Current GMD to allocate almost all products to Duke Oil. This is in addition to its automatic inclusion in the lifting of crude oil, gas, etc., which thus made Duke Oil a money spinning outfit that is accountable only to NNPC.
The Senate is also aware that since the NNPC owns the NNPC Trading Limited and the refineries, they also shortlist companies that get allocation of products, lifting of crude oil, and the importation of products, thus giving advantage to in-house companies even where they lack the capacities to perform. Additional prayers to the resolution also brought out the recently trading allegation that the NNPC boss, Mike Kanti Baru, awarded contracts worth $25 billion without recourse to the Office of the Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachiku. The Senate eventually set up a 9-member ad hoc committee headed by Senator Aliyu Wamako to probe the leaked letter to the President on the alleged contract breach.
Investigate the allegations made against the GMD of NNPC by the Honorable Minister of State of Petroleum Resources as contained in his leaked letter to Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
These committees should take these two issues very seriously. They are matters that really go to the root of what we have committed to Nigerians in stamping out corruption, and they must be investigated and the reports brought back to us as soon as possible, and we hope that the quality of the report will continue to meet the standard that we have set.
The committee is to report its findings to the Senate for further legislative action within 2 weeks.
Former President of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, Olisa Agbakoba, has called a National Assembly to withdraw the non-governmental organization NGO bill, saying it is unnecessary. Agbakoba made the call in a letter entitled "A Bill to Regulate NGOs in Nigeria is Unnecessary," addressed to the Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara. According to Agbakoba, civil society movement is concerned by the implication of this bill and can see no reason for its proposed enactment, as there is plethora of laws on statute books regulating activities of NGOs in Nigeria, thereby urging the NAS to withdraw this case. The federal government says the price of a bag of rice will become more reasonable in the next 1 month. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Aldogbe told journalists that rice millers and growers have been having a meeting and they have both agreed to pursue a plan that will stabilize the price, therefore crashing the price of the commodity.
That means that in the next 1 month, since harvest of rice has begun in earnest, the price of rice will become reasonable and the cost of rice, as we've been hearing of, would have reduced substantially. We shall continue to pursue that.
The federal government has approved the sum of 25.99 billion naira for the settlement of debt owed electricity distribution companies in Nigeria. The cost covers electricity consumed by federal government ministries, departments and agencies, as State House correspondent Abiola Oluwole reports.
Which we have urged at the National Council.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola said the federal government verified over 25 billion naira against the claims made by the distribution companies.
We've completed the verification, and as was announced to the monthly power meeting, and we now ask Council to approve the verified sum of 25.994 billion owed by ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government to be paid to the DISCOs out of the claims made by the DISCOs of 67.41 billion. Now, so there's a differential of about 41 billion. That differential arises first because some of the claims do not belong to federal government.
Fashola maintained that the verification of the claims by the discos is still ongoing, as the state and local governments are equally expected to share in the debt burden.
There needs to be some more verification going on and undertaken at state and local governments, which we have urged at the National Council on Power about a week ago. And this is important so that government can demonstrate its support for private sector by paying its own debts, so that private sector can do what they do best.
Ordering investigation into the circumstances that led to the damage of some tubers of Nigeria yams recently exported to the United States is another development from the Federal Executive Council meeting.
The ministry will investigate, because the ministry is not an exporter. Exporters are private sector people. Will investigate both the company that exported it and ask our quarantine department to check and find out why such a consignment left here.
The Agriculture Minister also disclosed that plans are underway to repeal the law prohibiting exports of some agricultural produce in Nigeria. From the Presidential Villa in Abuja, Abiola Oluwole reporting for CORETV News.
Watching CORETV News on the hour. Take a quick break. We'll be back on more stories. Please don't go away.
You know, Angela, that's a very difficult question.
It is difficult to respond to that question.
Angela, that's a great question.
Great question, Angela.
Angela, that is a very great question. That's a great question, Angela.
Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah, very good question.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
That's an interesting question.
This is an interesting question you pose.
60 Minutes with Angela. Gain answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Thank you for joining us again. For more on the news and other programs, please visit our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CORETV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CORETV News NG. Please visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CORETV News NG. Former Governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Ezefe, says the issue of restructuring Nigeria should not be treated with levity. He charged the federal government to commence the process speedily in order to arrest the current scenarios bedeviling the growth of the country. The former governor made this public at the maiden governorship debate organized by the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC, Anambra State Chapter, calling for a holistic approach to redefine the nation's structure. Correspondent Bamdele Ajayi completes this report presented from our studios.
In a bid to rid the nation of the secessionist agitations from different regions of the country, the former governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Ezefe, has advised the All Progressive Congress-led government to give Nigerians their desired aim of being a united country, challenging the National Assembly and the Presidency to hearken the clarion calls of major zones in Nigeria who are asking for the restructuring of Nigeria as federated unit.
Therefore, if they allow restructuring, which they cannot stop, it's a matter of being short-sighted, because ultimately it's either we restructure or we disintegrate and get into oblivion.
Jesus.
Yeah? We, the Nigerian people, want one Nigeria.
While buttressing on the need to engage the political class on what would be their party manifesto to lead the state in the coming governorship election, the chairman of different political parties outlined some qualities expected of their leaders, which, according to them, inform the setting up of a debate among the governorship contestants.
Time has come and passed when you now get a ticket for a party and at the same time you are sure of your victory. This time around, your vote must count, and the IPAC is here to put everything in order and telling you that no party is bigger than others.
It's only God that gives power. If you are choosing, you are choosing. Then you join others. You don't need to fight. It's not do or die affair.
The Guba candidates took their turns to reel out their plans of making Anambra State better than it is presently.
Last time I checked, their workforce was about 10,000. If the government could come in
invite them and find out ways to help them and expand. We are going to, we can cite maybe 3 to 4 more companies like that. This is just one company. Many sites here in different villages.
We also try and prosecute local government chairmen and other local government functionaries who embezzle local government funds.
The Independent National Electoral Commission had cleared 37 political parties to participate in the November 18 Anambra State governorship election. Major contenders in the race were, however, absent at the debate.
Former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar has appealed to Nigerians not to tear Nigeria apart. Abdulsalami says, rather, the youth should build on the legacies of the founding fathers and remain positive for its continued existence. He gave this charge at the official launch of Emeka Anyoku's Institute of International Studies and Diplomacy at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State. He also notes that all Nigerians must allow peace to reign, without which development would be impossible, noting that all hands must be on deck to make Nigeria greater. Also speaking at the event, a former Chief of Army Staff, Theophilus Danjuma, describes the present agitation for restructuring of the country as a good idea. He, however, says it should not be pursued with violence. 16 countries across Africa are set to draft a framework document on quality control and information database to enhance its economic development. At the regional workshop for the validation of a framework document on ECOWAS quality and industry database, stakeholders brainstorm on how to have a uniform quality and infrastructural control system across Africa. The West Africa Quality System Project is an EU-funded project that focuses on regional quality infrastructure system. It was launched in 2007 to align with the ECOWAS quality policy and create an environment that facilitates compliance with international trade rules. So the question of funding is not a problem.
To create the favorable conditions for attracting also investments in the region. It is a fact that investors need reliable information, and I'm glad to see that the project has supported, among other activities, the establishment of a database on quality and industry within the ECOWAS region. This database is mainly for economic operators in the region, and it will provide concrete answers in response to many requests for statistical data.
In Ondo State, the state's governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, has denied having a hand in the recent suspension of some magistrates in the state. He made this denial while declaring open the 2017 Chief Judges Seminar with a theme, Dispensation of Substantial Justice in the Eyes of the Law, held in Akure, Ondo State capital. The state judiciary kicked out about 190 magistrates and senior registrars over what it termed irregular appointment. Akeredolu, in his address, says the development was introduced by the State Judiciary Commission as part of the ongoing efforts of cleaning the judicial system. He, however, charges stakeholders in the judiciary to champion fairness, equity and justice while discharging their constitutional responsibilities. He noted that the seminar would go a long way in reforming judiciary and the society at large. The Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, has decried the poor conditions of teachers across the country. According to him, it is ironical to assume that teachers who are saddled with the responsibility of molding the character of future generations, equipping them with tools for greatness, would live and die in abject poverty. The minister has said this while addressing journalists in Abuja on the activities that would herald the 2017 World Teachers' Day, frowned at the teachers' condition of service, promising to use as good offices to correct the anomalies. He also assures to make correction by providing conducive environment to work. Still on education, Minister of Education Adamu Adamu has called on stakeholders to empower Nigerian teachers in order to perform better. The minister made the call at this year's commemoration of the World Teachers' Day in Abuja. He advised the teachers to work hard and change their attitude to work. Adamu assures that government will ensure it upgrades the knowledge base of teachers. In Taraba State, the state chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary School Teachers have joined their counterparts across the globe to mark the World Teachers' Day. This year's celebration is marked under the theme Teaching and Freedom, Empowering Teachers. The day is set aside to note the importance of teachers' contribution and value to the society. There are 207,818 unqualified teachers in primary schools across Nigeria. The Registrar of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Josiah Ajiboye, said this in a paper presented to mark 2017 World Teachers' Day in Abuja. He said that Northeasters 57.7% of the total figure because of the activities of Boko Haram in the region, having killed 611 teachers since 2009. Ajiboye also says that there were 207,818 unqualified teachers in the primary schools. He stressed that all this are adding to the problems of ascertaining the quality of teachers in Nigeria. The hydra-headed crisis quality and quantity of teachers demand a strong policy response. He says the agency has registered and certified over 1.8 million teachers since the inception of the council. Away from education matters, a group of Nigerian exporters have expressed plight over a Apapa Road and port, stating that Nigeria's economic diversification is under threat due to the constant gridlock at Apapa Road. President of National Cashew Association, Tola Fashiru, says most of their commodities are perishable if not shipped on time. Also, the road is a major hindrance to growth of business in the state due to the bad road of Apapa Expressway, which has become a great concern to businesses and prospective investors. They're calling on the federal government to intervene.
But we are at a crossroads right now, and something radical, something drastic needs to be done by our government to see that those roads are repaired. We must come up with serious ingenuity.
We'll take another quick break and be back on more stories from outside Nigeria. Please stay with us.
Over 2,000 communities in Nigeria, each with its unique story. Some reel of comfort, most with its complaints. Whatever the story is from your community, we tell it. Let's journey together through streets, homes, markets, every nook and cranny to tell your story the right and the true way. Community Focus. It's all about you and your community.
Welcome back. Outside Nigeria, the girlfriend of the Las Vegas gunman who shot dead 58 people on Sunday says she has no idea what her partner was planning. Marilio Danley's comment came hours before police suggested Stephen Paddock had been living a secret life. They said he may have been planning to escape instead of shooting himself dead, but did not give further details. It is not yet known why he opened fire in an open-air concert, committing the worst shooting in modern U.S. history. Danley expressed shock at the horrible, unspeakable acts of violence Paddock committed. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has called for more decisive action in response to the Kurdish regional government's attempts to split from Iraq as he joined his Iranian counterpart Hassan Rouhani in renewing their opposition to the redrawing of the Iraqi borders. Rouhani also declared his opposition to an independent Kurdish state, even as he said his country does not mean any harm to the Kurdish population. On September 25, voters in the semi-autonomous Kurdish region of northern Iraq voted overwhelmingly to back a split from Baghdad, setting off a regional crisis. Now, aside from Turkey and Iran, Iraq's central government in Baghdad also opposed the referendum. The United Nations and the U.S. have also opposed the Kurdish vote, saying it would distract operations against ISIL as well as the Syria war in the civil war in Syria. In sports, the place of sport as a veritable tool for economic turnaround in the country has been reiterated. The governor of Osun State and other stakeholders hold the assertion that various sporting activities, especially the non-combative ones, will not only aid physical and mental fitness, but also be a source of employment for teeming youths in the country. The governor spoke at the prize-giving ceremony for winners at the state-organized calisthenics competition in Oshogbo. Rashid reports.
Calisthenics has been one sport promoted by the Osun State government over the years. The game is being taken to the next level with secondary school students grouped in various federal constituencies in the state to compete. Rewarding the winners and runners-up in the competition, Governor Alfa Regbeshola says the calisthenics is to prepare students mentally and physically on one side and discovery of talents on the other hand.
If private schools equally join us in encouraging their pupils, their students, to participate in this event, calisthenics is a beautiful, very beautiful engagement that will charge the intellectual capacity of your words.
Sponsors of the calisthenics canvassed for revitalization of the sport industry in Nigeria.
We need to invest in sports development in Nigeria rather than paying attention to Manchester United, the Barcelona, and what have you. We can develop our own sports facilities and the people that are involved to make it more presentable to the international community. There is a lot of money in sports that we can tap into, and this is an area that I will implore every government to look into for us to be able to have an all-round development that can make our society enviable to humanity at large.
The government presented 1 million naira check to the winner from each senatorial districts, while the first and second runners-up went home with 750,000 naira and 500,000 naira respectively. The grand finale will be held later in the year. Rashid, CORETV News, Oshogbo.
That's it on CORETV News on the hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Thank you for watching.
Dab. Yes. One day as I did dab, they go. Now I might see my neighbor on top electric pole. Don't be hammer you hold so. Before. So? Climb every day. Come on electric bill. You not gree pay.
Waiting concern you for there. I beg you. Come over here.
Okay, oh. I don't talk my own. As I dab reach house. Yay! Fire! Fire! My brand new flat screen.
Hold up.
Waiting concern you for there. I beg you. Come over here.
Government property, now my property. If you don't come down now, I go report.
Don't be only report. Now report card.
Dab. Yes.
If you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I want to buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will free give you 500.
Sure? This one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans.
We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody. The majority of the law they pass belong to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome again on another interesting and exciting episode of Autoglobe Total Transport Program. Yes, Autoglobe Total Transport Program keeps you abreast of transportation challenges, transportation issues, and of course transportation news. Welcome once again. My name is Oluwa Damilola Ojo. Today we have something very crucial to talk about. But before we go ahead, let's just go on this quick break and we'll be right back. This is the trending transport news for this week.
Transportation never stops. Neither should you. If your aim is to go places in life, whatever you do, stay on top of your game with Autoglobe, the TV show that keeps you abreast of topical issues and current trends in 21st century transportation. Join knowledgeable and influential players in Nigeria and global transportation on this channel. Autoglobe Total Transport Program. A step ahead.
Welcome back on the show. Still Autoglobe Total Transport Program. Yes, my name is Oluwa Damilola Ojo. This week we have something very crucial to talk about when it comes to transportation in Nigeria and of course in Lagos State especially. Today we'll be looking at the Apapa gridlock. Government said to find a lasting solution. How true is this? Is it possible? Well, to talk about this, I have with me Chief Remi Ogungbemi, who is the president of Association of Maritime Trucks, owners, Amato. Welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Fine, I'm fine and good. Are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much, sir. Okay, so let's go straight to what is happening in Lagos State at the Apapa traffic and the rest of it. Apapa gridlock has been a long-term menace. What is really the cause of this gridlock? Because recently it has been something very worrisome for Lagosians.
Well, it's a problem that I will regard as an epidemic. It is an epidemic that requires urgent attention.
Okay.
And the epidemic is so dangerous, more dangerous even than the HIV virus. Because HIV virus kills gradually. But the type of epidemic we're experiencing as a result of the traffic gridlock is something that requires urgent attention, and it is not a problem that should be left alone with the state. Federal government should come and see what they can do so that it will not degenerate and become a national problem.
But do we have a certain cause for this gridlock?
Well, to my own understanding, the cause that I can attribute to the problem has to do with the fact that the volume of activities that are coming to the port are increasing, or has increased tremendously. The vehiculars also that are going in and out of the port have increased. Not only that, even the populations have also increased. And I can say that the road we have been using, I mean the road infrastructure that has been existing for about 40 years or more is the same road. And if you look at it, if you have increase, there's supposed to be an infrastructure that will go pari passu with those increase. So the road infrastructure is not expanded, and they tell me, and again, vehiculars has increased. A situation whereby a road that's supposed not to accommodate more than 20 trucks or vehicles, you see about 200 vehicles scrambling, struggling on the same road at the same time. They're bound to be commotion and collision until necessary thing is done, until necessary infrastructure is put in place to regulate. Otherwise, we'll just continue to apportioning blame. Oh, it's truck drivers. No, it's truck owners. No, it's this, it's that. And whereas all those trucks you see on the road, it is not with the interest of the drivers of the trucks or the owner of the trucks. It is because there is no place where they can be coming from. A place has to be provided for the trucks so that it will only be when their services are required, we now call them from where they are.
So you're talking about trucks garage?
Yes, it's very important. It's a key. It's a key. It's a key that I know that can solve the problem. So that by the time we have such facilities, then electronically trucks will be calling from that place to wherever they want to load, as per the number required at any particular time and the loading point.
Yeah, you said the roads has been there for 40 years.
Yeah.
The last administration of Raji Fashola tried to solve the problem. What really went wrong?
Well, everybody has his own way of doing things. When former governor was in Lagos, I will say some of the policies he rolled out contributing to the problem that we are having now, because there was a kind of dislodgement. They were dislodging trucks from several places where trucks were managing. Though it's not a befitting place, but they say half is better than none. There were dislodgement that was going on almost everywhere. So the truck has to operate, and the port cannot operate without the truck, and the truck must come from somewhere. So all those dislodgements, I must say, contribute to the problem that we're having now, because automatically the trucks that are chased away under the bridge and some other places find their way back on the road. Ordinarily, if you are not ready to load, if it is not your turn to load, you're supposed to remain in a park until when you are ready. But the situation where everybody just come at the same time is not the best. It's not the best at all.
Like you said, dislodgement and the rest of it. there is nowhere to park because
I
can remember a few days ago that trucks were just parking on the road down from Apapa down to Costain, and there was a lot of gridlock. Well, the Lagos State government suggests temporary vacation of truck operations and tankers on Apapa access. Is this a very good strategy to solve the problem?
Well, I will say, in the circumstances like this, you can use any strategy you think or you believe that can be the solution to the problem.
But do you think sending them away from the road is the actual
let me correct the
solution?
expression. It's not sending them away outrightly.
Okay.
At least, we are having more than enough trucks within a Apapa environment, which is not too heavy for safety of lives and property. So what the Lagos State government did is that, so for now, if you are coming to Apapa, don't come until when they were able to address the situation on ground. They want to ensure that if it is tank farm, load the one that is already with you. Don't allow anyone to come. If it is port, load those ones that are within your area. Don't allow anyone to come. It is not that they ban truck outrightly from coming to Lagos. It's just for a while.
Okay. We still have a lot of things to talk about, actually.
Yeah, right.
We just have to go on a quick break because we still have loads of things to talk about.
I'm
We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us. To many motorists, Apapa has become a nightmare. They are subjected to traffic gridlock caused by trailers and petrol tankers trying to access the port and the tank farms. The situation has worsened in the last 3 years, forcing many residents and businesses to relocate from the area. The Nigerian Port Authority (NPA) claimed to have lost over 7 trillion naira to the traffic lockdown. Giving Apapa proper traffic traction was one of the headaches of the former Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, with every attempt to find a lasting solution to the perennial gridlocks proved abortive over the years. The present Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, after his various visits to the area to get a first-hand information on how to best tackle the challenges, on Friday the 22nd of September, directed owners and operators of articulated vehicles, trailers and petroleum tankers to stay away from Lagos for now. However, some stakeholders are of the opinion that making viable ports within the country is the best solution to the decongestion of Lagos Port.
Transportation never stops. Neither should you, if your aim is to go places in life. Whatever you do, stay on top of your game with Autoglobe, the TV show that keeps you abreast of topical issues and current trends in 21st century transportation. Join knowledgeable and influential players in Nigeria and global transportation on this channel. Autoglobe Total Transport Program. A step ahead.
Welcome back on the show, still Autoglobe Total Transport Program, and I still have right here with me Chief Remi Ogungbemi, President Association of Maritime Truck Owners and MATO. I've been talking about the Apapa gridlock, what is causing it, and of course the government is set to find a lasting solution to it. So back to what we were saying, we were actually talking about the Lagos State strategy. So what strategy do you think is good for this problem?
Well, the area has been neglected for too long, because I can say for more than 1.5 decades, nothing is happening.
Okay.
One government after the other, they come in, they just sit down and talk and discuss, call a meeting, put off a task force. The task force will just come and compound the problem. But I think maybe, for example, I would suggest that if federal government is so busy, if the hands of the federal government is so full that they don't have time to address the problem within the port environment by fixing the roads, though the MD of Nigeria Port Authority tried her best by bringing the stakeholders together, that is Dangote, Flour Mills, they contributed money and the reputations of the Apapa Wharf Road is there. But the entire stretch of coconut, that is Tinkan axis to Oshodi Apapa, has knocked down completely. It's impassable. The road has collapsed. So if federal government may be thinking they are so tight that they cannot be able to attend to that issue, they should cede the port, maybe to Lagos State to manage.
Okay.
When the management, with understanding, either it's going to be 50-50 or 60-40 or 70-30, depends on the agreement, so that there can be proper monitoring of the situation. But the situation as of now is horrible. It's horrible, of which if nothing is done, is a waiting bomb that can explode anytime, may God forbid.
God forbid.
And it is my prayer, it won't be our portion, whereby the wife of president, the wife of commissioners and governor will be sending relief material to us. We don't want it. And it is better they wake up and do something very, very urgent. Enough is enough of apportioning blame.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, on our own side, we are willing and ready for whatever the authority, the federal government and the state government is ready to do to ensure they address the problem. Okay. Only what we will not appreciate, we will not appreciate any policy that will come and compound the problems of truck owners.
Like it has always been.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'll still go back to that of the stakeholders you mentioned the other time, but let's look at what is adding to this problem. Like you said earlier, we have bad roads, we don't have truck garage. What else is adding to the gridlock on Apapa axis?
Well, there are, if you say, there are so many, because there are people that are capitalizing on the situation to enrich themselves, which I wouldn't blame them. Like you can see, it's only prison waters and I think immigration you don't see on the road. They were there in the name of controlling traffic, but they know what they are doing. There are many handshakes here and there. All this has become an impediment even to the free flow of the traffic. But however, every problem has a solution, except if the problem is not given the necessary holistic approach.
Okay, great. So let me come back to the stakeholders. What are the stakeholders doing to probably help the government in solving this problem we have on ground?
Number one, the stakeholders we are talking about, the only help we think is to cooperate with the people in the authority, because there's limit to what we can do. What I mean, land is vested on the state. It is only state government that has power over the land. Even though we see a land, we don't have power of it. It is only state that has power that can release any land. And we don't have the political power. Let government roll out a policy that will bring sanity and orderliness to the environment, especially within a proper environment. It's beyond what a stakeholder can do. So only a policy statement that can change things for better.
Okay, so what do you think governments, both sides, the states and the federal government, needs to do differently to find a lasting solution?
Number one, collaboration.
Okay.
There must be a collaboration.
The state and the federal.
And the state and the federal.
Okay.
You shouldn't say, this is not my state, or this is it, this is that. Because the situation is terrible. They must collaborate to work together to see how they can address the problem. They should see it as a national issue that requires urgent attention.
It is actually a national issue because we have most ports that has gone down, but I would say Lagos State port is still the one that is really functioning. And here it is, the road is really bad, like you said. So we don't have infrastructure, no truck garages and all of that. Well, before I let you go, what do you think is the lasting solution? From your own part of view, What do you think is the lasting solution?
Well, the lasting solution is to appeal to the people in the authority, because I cannot go there and make any policy. Nobody will listen. It is only authority that can come out and make a policy statement by which everybody will key into. I think, in my own opinion, it is better. I will use this forum to advise our members, both containerized general cargo trucks and petroleum tanker trucks. All the trucks within Apapa and Tinka, the trucks cannot be loaded at the same time. Please, anyone that are just coming to Lagos now should exercise patience. Let the port authority and the tank farm attend to the one that is already within the environment, so that everything will not just jam-packed.
Thank you very much, Chief Remy Ogungbemi, for being on the show. You've said it all, and of course you've advised the truck trailers operators. Thank you very much for being on the show, Chief Remy. Thank you very much. And that's a wrap on Auto Globe Total Transfer program today. And you've all heard it from Chief Remy Ogungbemi, President Association of Maritime Trucks Owners, Amato. He said you should exercise patience if you're just coming into Lagos Port. Be patient, okay, because we don't want gridlocks here and there. Alright, and that's it. My name is Oluwa Damlola Ojo. You can join us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Autoglobe TV. As easy as that, and you can go to our website www.autoglobe.tv. Until we meet again next time, my name is Oluwa Damlola Ojo once again. Drive safe and be careful.
Welcome to 100 Years in 100 Words. Cultures in Nigeria. Nigeria is a blessed nation. Our culture is shaped by our multi-ethnic groups. The country has over 50 languages and over 250 dialects and ethnic groups. Nigeria is believed to possess one of the finest cultures in the world, ranging from cuisines, clothing, languages, architecture, hospitality, traditional music, dance, art, and much more. The three largest ethnic groups are the Hausa Fulani, who are predominant in the north, the Igbos, who are predominant in the southeast, and the Yorubas, who are predominant in the southwest. The Edo people are predominant in the regions between the Yoruba land and the Igbo land. This group is followed by the Ibibios and an ethnic people of the coastal southeastern Nigeria and the Ijaws of the Niger Delta. The rest of Nigeria's ethnic groups are found all over the country, especially in the Middle Belt and the north. The Hausa tends to be Muslims and the Igbos are predominantly Christians. The Efik, Ibibios, and Anan people are mainly Christians. The Yorubas have a balance of members that are ardently of both Islam and Christianity. Indigenous religious practice remains important in all Nigeria's ethnic groups. These beliefs are often blended with Christianity or even Islam. One cannot help but savor the rich delicacies from Tuwo Shinkafa with Miyan Kuka of the north to the Akpu with Ofe Oweri of the east and Inyo with Egusi soup of the west. Who will resist the Afang soup specially made in the beautiful city of Calabar? Call it a fishing frenzy festival. It is one of the most famous cultural festivals in Nigeria, and it is celebrated to mark the beginning of the fishing season in Argungu, a riverside town in Kebbi State, between February and March every year. It is called the Argungu Fishing Festival. Eyo is not just unique, but central to the city of Lagos, Africa's biggest metropolis. It is widely believed that Eyo is a replica of the modern-day carnival in Brazil. You need to attend festivals such as the Benin Festival, the New Yam Festival, Oshu Festival, and Shango Festival to understand the beauty embedded in Nigeria's culture. Nigeria is a blessed nation.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Over 2,000 communities in Nigeria, each with its unique story. Some reel of comfort, most with its complaints. Whatever the story is from your community, we tell it. Let's journey together through streets, homes, markets, every nook and cranny to tell your story the right and the true way. Community Focus. It's all about you and your community.
Many thanks for joining us. This is CORETV News on the hour, broadcasting from Lagos, Nigeria. I am Abosede Omowi. Here are the stories we have for you at this time. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has called on civil societies to join government in its fight against corruption to ensure the cleanup is a proactive one. This is coming on the heels for a unified nation to bring about oneness, as well as encourage the need to promote governance on merit rather than on tribes, ethnicity and faith. He also added that the government has fed over 3 million children in 14 states and still continues due to constraints to work with the state government who are in charge of the schools across the state. Meanwhile, he implores Nigerian youth to demonstrate their interest in the political space. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has transferred a corruption case against the former Niger State Governor Babangida Aliyu to Minna Division of the court. Justice Nnamdi Dingba granted the application filed by Defense Counsel for transfer of the matter to Minna in Niger State. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is prosecuting Aliyu alongside his former Chief of Staff Umar Nasco for alleged laundering of ecological funds amounting to over 1 billion naira released by the federal government to Niger government in 2014. According to EFCC, the offence contravenes Section 18 of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 and is punishable under Section 15 of the same Act. Two members of the House of Representatives have dumped the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the All Progressives Congress (APC). They are Zephaniah Gisalo, representing Abuja Municipal Buhari Federal Constituency, and Yusuf Tijani, representing Okene Ogori Magogo Federal Constituency of Kogi State. Tijani and Gisalo are the latest members of the former ruling party, joining the All Progressives Congress after their party lost out at the 2015 general elections. Elsewhere, the Senate has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate allegations of corruption against the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and NPC Trading. The motion, sponsored by Senator Samuel Anyanwu, is aware that the NNPC Trading is composed of some outfits, including Duke Oil, Hyson Carlson Joint Venture, NAP Oil Joint Venture, and West Africa Gas Limited Joint Venture, who have been awarded contracts without due process. Jamila Fegwa has a report.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation seem to be in the eye of the storm these days, as allegations of corruption have bedeviled the nation's cash cow. Worried by the spate of indiscriminate award of business due to some outfits in the country by NNPC Trading, the Senate, through a motion, is calling for a holistic investigation into some of these outfits, some of which are not registered in or paying taxes to Nigeria.
Current GMD to allocate almost all products to Duke Oil. This is in addition to its automatic inclusion in the lifting of crude oil, gas, etc., which thus made Duke Oil a money-spinning outfit that is accountable only to NNPC.
The Senate is also aware that since the NNPC owns the NNPC Trading Limited and the refineries, they also shortlist companies that get allocation of products, lifting of crude oil, and the importation of products, thus giving advantage to in-house companies even where they lack the capacities to perform. Additional prayers to the resolution also brought out the recently trading allegation that the NNPC boss, Mike Kanti Baru, awarded contracts worth $25 billion without recourse to the Office of the Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachuku. The Senate eventually set up a 9-member ad hoc committee headed by Senator Aliyu Wamako to probe the leaked letter to the President on the alleged contract breach.
Investigate the allegations made against the GMD of NNPC by the Honorable Minister of State of Petroleum Resources as contained in his leaked letter to Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
These committees should take these two issues very seriously. They are matters that really go to the root of what we have committed to Nigerians in stamping out corruption, and they must be investigated and the reports brought back to us as soon as possible, and we hope that the quality of the report will continue to meet the standard that we have set.
The committee is to report its findings to the Senate for further legislative action within 2 weeks.
Former President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olis Agbakoba, has called on the National Assembly to withdraw the non-governmental organization NGO bill, saying it is unnecessary. Agbakoba made the call in a letter entitled "A Bill to Regulate NGOs in Nigeria is Unnecessary," addressed to the Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara. According to Agbakoba, civil society movement is concerned about the implication of this bill and can see no reason for its proposed enactment, as there is a plethora of laws on statute books regulating activities of NGOs in Nigeria, thereby urging the National Assembly to withdraw the bill. The federal government says the price of a bag of rice will become more reasonable in the next 1 month. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Audu Ogbe told journalists that rice millers and growers have been meeting and they have both agreed to pursue a plan that will stabilize the price, therefore crushing the price of the commodity.
That means that in the next 1 month, since harvest of rice has begun in earnest, the price of rice will become reasonable and the cost of rice, as we've been hearing of, would have reduced substantially. We shall continue to pursue that.
The federal government has approved the sum of 25.99 billion naira for the settlement of debt owed electricity distribution companies in Nigeria. The cost covers electricity consumed by federal government ministries, departments and agencies. State House correspondent Abiola Oluwole reports.
Which we have urged at the National Council.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola said the federal government verified over 25 billion naira against the claims made by the distribution companies.
We've completed the verification, and as was announced to the monthly power meeting, and we now ask Council to approve the verified sum of 25.994 billion owed by ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government to be paid to the DISCOs out of the claims made by the DISCOs of 67.41 billion. Now, so there's a differential of about 41 billion. That differential arises first because some of the claims do not belong to federal government.
Fashola maintained that the verification of the claims by the DISCOs is still ongoing, as the state and local governments are equally expected to share in the debt burden.
There needs to be some more verification going on and undertaken at state and local governments, which we have urged at the National Council on Power about a week ago. And this is important so that government can demonstrate its support for private sector by paying its own debts, so that private sector can do what they do best.
Ordering investigation into the circumstances that led to the damage of some tubers of Nigeria yams recently exported to the United States is another development from the Federal Executive Council meeting.
The ministry will investigate, because the ministry is not an exporter. Exporters are private sector people. Will investigate both the
the company that exported it and ask our quarantine department to check and find out why such a consignment left here.
The Agriculture Minister also disclosed that plans are underway to repeal the law prohibiting exports of some agricultural produce in Nigeria. From the Presidential Villa in Abuja, Abiola Oluwole reporting for CORETV News.
You're watching CORETV News on the hour. Still to come, Nigerian Army ambush Boko Haram terrorists. We'll bring you details of that shortly. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Many thanks for staying with us. Remember, you can get more news and other information on our website, www.coretvnews.com.ng, and on our various social media platforms. On our Facebook page, facebook.com/CoreTVNews. On Twitter @CoreTVNewsNG. And on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTVNewsNG. The Nigerian Army has ambushed unsuspecting Boko Haram terrorists along Frigi Polka Road in Bama local government area of Borno State. Troops of 151 and 202 battalions of the 21 Brigade Nigerian Army under Operation Lafia Dole laid the ambush in furtherance of clearance and blockade operation Deep Punch 2 in separate but well-coordinated attacks. In the same vein, crack troops of 22 Brigade of Operation Lafia Dole intercepted 3 Boko Haram terrorists disguised as internally displaced persons and trying to infiltrate a barrier, forcing them to hastily detonate their suicide vest. Some of the items recovered from the terrorists include 1 general multi-purpose machine gun, 1 motorcycle, 6 bundles of zinc, 2 AK-47 rifles, and 2 magazines with several rounds of ammunition, among other items. In other matters now, former governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Ezeife, says the issue of restructuring Nigeria should not be treated with levity. He charged the federal government to commence the process speedily in order to arrest the current scenarios bedeviling the growth of the country. The former governor made this public at a maiden governorship debate organized by the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Anambra State chapter, calling for a holistic approach to redefining the nation's structure. Correspondent Bamidele Ajayi's report is presented from our studios.
In a bid to rid the nation of the secessionist agitations from different regions of the country, the former governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Ezeife, has advised the All Progressive Congress-led government to give Nigerians their desired aim of being a united country, challenging the National Assembly and the presidency to hearken the clarion calls of major zones in Nigeria who are asking for the restructuring of Nigeria as federated unit.
Therefore, if they allow restructuring, which they cannot stop, it's a matter of being short-sighted, because ultimately it's either we restructure or we disintegrate and get into oblivion.
Jesus.
Yeah? We, the Nigerian people, want one Nigeria.
While buttressing on the need to engage the political class on what would be their party manifesto to lead the state in the coming governorship election, the chairman of different political parties outlined some qualities expected of their leaders, which, according to them, inform the setting up of a debate among the governorship contestants.
Time has come and passed when you now get a ticket for a party and at the same time you are sure of your victory. This time around, your vote must count, and the IPAC is here to put everything in order and telling you that no party is bigger than others.
It's only God that gives power. If you are choosing, you are choosing. Then you join others. You don't need to fight. It's not do or die affair.
The Guba candidate took their turns to reel out their plans of making Anambra State better than it is presently.
Last time I checked, their workforce was about 10,000. If the government could come in, invite them, and find out ways to help them and expand, we are going to, if we can cite maybe 3 to 4 more companies like that. This is just one company. Many sites here in different villages.
We also try and prosecute local government chairmen and other local government functionaries who embezzle local government funds.
The Independent National Electoral Commission had cleared 37 political parties to participate in the November 18 Anambra State governorship election. Major contenders in the race were, however, absent at the debate.
Former head of state Abdul Salami Abubakar has appealed to Nigerians not to tear Nigeria apart. Abdul Salami said rather the youth should build on the legacies of the founding fathers and remain positive for its continued existence. He gave this charge at the official launch of Emeka Anyaoku's Institute of International Studies and Diplomacy at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State. He also noted that all Nigerians must also allow peace to reign, without which development would be impossible, noting that all hands must be on deck to make Nigeria greater. Also speaking at the event, a former chief of army staff, Theophilus Danjuma, described the present agitation for restructuring of the country as a good idea. He, however, said it should not be pursued with violence. 16 countries across Africa are set to draft a framework document on quality control and information database to enhance its economic development. At a regional workshop for the validation of a framework document on ECOWAS quality and industry database, stakeholders brainstormed on how to have a uniform quality and infrastructural control system across Africa. The West Africa Quality System Project is an EU-funded project that focuses on regional quality infrastructure system. It was launched in 2007 to align with the ECOWAS quality policy and create an environment that facilitates compliance with international trade rules. So the question of funding is not a problem.
To create the favorable conditions for attracting also investments in the region. It is a fact that investors need reliable information, and I'm glad to see that the project has supported, among other activities, the establishment of a database on quality and industry within the ECOWAS region. This database is mainly for economic operators in the region, and it will provide concrete answers in response to many requests for statistical data.
Delegation there to Nigerian ECOWAS, Jens Hogel. A group of Nigerian exporters have raised alarm that Nigeria's economic diversification is under threat due to the constant gridlock on Apapa Road. Expressing their plight on the road and ports, the exporters say most of their perishable commodities are destroyed when not shipped on time. They say the road is a major hindrance to growth of business in Lagos State and call on the federal government to intervene in what they say has become the source of constant hardship to businesses and prospective investors. Ayobami Akpashe has details.
Apapa is regarded as one of the major getaways of Nigeria's economy because it is home to two of Nigeria's major wharfs, but its roads have over time not been accessible. Due to the constant gridlock at Apapa Road and Port, group of exporters decide to address the lingering issues, they say, emphasizing that the Apapa gridlock is crippling commodity exports from Nigeria.
Priority should be given to export. Doing our shipment will be seamless. And in every other way where support can be given to export, this is the time to give all the support to exporters. Not many people want to come into export because of all the issues that surround it.
The support of the call for the MPA to be privatized, they are not efficient at all. Sincerely, they have encouraged corruption. You can imagine some people that are carrying other goods, like wood, they pay as much as 30, 40, 50,000 to uniform men for them to get entrance to the port at the expenses of the perishable items.
They demand that the government give priority to exportable commodities in line with the federal government's economic diversification agenda.
On the Apapa Road, that is what we're asking for. That place should be fixed. The gridlock is killing export business. There is no easier way to say it. There is no better way to say it. If we keep doing things the same way, we'll continue to get the same result.
The group of exporters say they are forced to reduce workers and workforce due to the slow pace in export business arising from Apapa gridlock. Ayobami Pashe, CORETV News, Lagos.
Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu has denied having a hand in the recent suspension of some magistrates in the state. He made this denial while declaring open the 2017 Chief Judges Seminar with the theme Dispensation of Substantial Justice in the Eyes of the Law, held in Akure, Ondo State capital. The state judiciary kicked out about 190 magistrates and senior registrars over what it termed irregular appointment. But Akeredolu in his address said the development was introduced by the State's Judiciary Commission as part of the ongoing effort of cleaning the judicial system. He, however, charged stakeholders in the judiciary to champion fairness, equity and justice while discharging their constitutional responsibilities. Akeredolu noted that the seminar would go a long way in reforming judiciary and the society at large. The Minister of Education, Adamu, has decried the poor conditions of teachers across the country. According to him, it is ironical to assume that teachers who are saddled with the responsibility of molding the character of future generations, equipping them with tools for greatness, would live and die in abject poverty. The minister, who said this while addressing journalists in Abuja on the activities that would herald the 2017 World Teachers' Day, frowned at the teachers' condition of service, promising to use his good office to correct the anomalies. He also assured to make corrections by providing conducive environment to work. As the Minister of Education, Adamu has called on stakeholders to empower Nigerian teachers in order to perform better. The minister made the call at this year's commemoration of the World Teachers' Day in Abuja. He advised the teachers to work hard and change their attitude to work. Adamu assures that government would ensure it upgrades the knowledge base of teachers. In Taraba State, the state chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary School Teachers have joined their counterparts across the globe to mark the World Teachers' Day. This year's celebration is marked on the theme Teaching and Freedom, Empowering Teachers. The day is set aside to note the importance of teachers' contribution and value to their society. Wife of Kogi State Governor Amina Bello has appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to assent the National Disability Bill, which he believes can go a long way in addressing the numerous challenges people living with disability face in the society. She made this appeal at a press conference held in Abuja to celebrate the 2017 World Cerebral Day in the area of education. She called on school owners to be more friendly to children with special needs by making school environment wheelchair accessible. You're watching CORETV News in the hour. Still to come, news from outside Nigeria and the world of sports. Join us again.
CORETV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is CORETV.
Download CORETV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. CORETV News, a 24-hour news station.
Good to have you join us again. In news from beyond the shores, officials say the gunman behind Sunday night's mass shooting in Las Vegas planned to flee and might have had help was planning the massacre. Sheriff Joe Lombardo told reporters Paddock was living a secret life, much of which would never be fully understood. Paddock's motive for killing 58 people in the largest mass shooting in modern U.S. history remains unclear, with his girlfriend Marilu Danley saying she had no idea what he was plotting. Police found the 64-year-old former accountant dead in a room on the 32nd floor of a hotel after he sprayed bullets on concert-goers below, injuring hundreds. In sports news, the place of sport as a veritable tool for economic turnaround in the country has been reiterated. Governor of Osun State and other stakeholders hold the assertion that various sporting activities, especially the non-combative ones, will not only aid physical and mental fitness, but also be a source of employment for teeming youth in the country. The governor spoke at the prize-giving ceremony for winners at the state-organized calisthenics competition in Osogbo.
Calisthenics has been one sport promoted by the Osun State government over the years. The game is being taken to the next level with secondary school students grouped to various federal constituencies in the state to compete. Rewarding the winners and runners-up in the competition, Governor Alfa Regbeshola says the calisthenics is to prepare students mentally and physically on one side and discovery of talents on the other hand.
If private schools equally join us in encouraging their pupils, their students, to participate in this event. Calisthenics is a beautiful, very beautiful engagement that we charge the intellectual capacity of your words.
Sponsors of the calisthenics canvass for revitalization of the sport industry in Nigeria.
We need to invest in sports development in Nigeria rather than paying attention to Manchester United, the Barcelona, and what have you. We can develop our own sports facilities and the people that are involved to make it more presentable to the international community. There is a lot of money in sports that we can tap into, and this is an area that I will implore every government to look into for us to be able to have an all-round development that can make our society enviable to humanity at large.
The government presented 1 million naira check to the winner from each senatorial districts, while the first and second runners-up went home with 750,000 naira and 500,000 naira respectively. The grand finale will be held later in the year. Rashid, CORETV News, Osogbo.
That's it on sports and on CORETV News on the hour. Thank you very much for watching. I am Abosedi Omowi.
Welcome to 100 Years in 100 Words. Cultures in Nigeria. Nigeria is a blessed nation. Our culture is shaped by our multi-ethnic groups. The country has over 50 languages and over 250 dialects and ethnic groups. Nigeria is believed to possess one of the finest cultures in the world, ranging from cuisines, clothing, languages, architecture, hospitality, traditional music, dance, art, and much more. The three largest ethnic groups are the Hausa Fulani, who are predominant in the north, the Igbos, who are predominant in the southeast, and the Yorubas, who are predominant in the southwest. The Edo people are predominant in the regions between the Yoruba land and the Igbo land. This group is followed by the Ibibios and Efik people of the coastal southeastern Nigeria and the Ijaws of the Niger Delta. The rest of Nigeria's ethnic groups are found all over the country, especially in the Middle Belt and the North. The Hausa tends to be Muslims, and the Igbos are predominantly Christians. The Efik, Ibibios, and Anang people are mainly Christians. The Yorubas have a balance of members that are ardently of both Islam and Christianity. Indigenous religious practice remains important in all Nigeria's ethnic group. These beliefs are often blended with Christianity or even Islam. One cannot help but savor the rich delicacies from tuwo shinkafa with miyan kuka of the north, to the akpu with ofe oweri of the east, and inyo with egusi soup of the west. Who will resist the afang soup, specially made in the beautiful city of Calabar? Call it a fishing frenzy festival. It is one of the most famous cultural festivals in Nigeria, and it is celebrated to mark the beginning of the fishing season in Arugungu, a riverside town in Kebbi State, between February and March every year. It is called the Arugungu Fishing Festival. Eyo is not just unique, but central to the city of Lagos, Africa's biggest metropolis. It is widely believed that Eyo is a replica of a modern-day carnival in Brazil. You need to attend festivals such as the Benin Festival, the New Yam Festival, Oshu Festival, and Shango Festival to understand the beauty embedded in Nigeria's culture. Nigeria is a blessed nation.
Legendary beat. Legendary beat. Legendary beat. Legendary beat.
Turn up my vibe when I watch Core Vibes on CORETV News. Don't touch that dial. Keep watching.
Legendary beat. Legendary beat. I want you to love me. Doro me, baby. Doro me, doro. Kilo de. Why you know they call me Kilo de, baby. Kilo de, doro. I give you signal. Why you know they see me? I give you green light to tire. I'm a killer babu. May you know they fumble. I go shoot my shot, yo, Joro. So Joro, baby, take my number. Take my number. You know you can call me later. Call me later. Me, I want to be your call me later. Me, I want to be your lover. Be your lover. Oh, baby, call me later. Call me later. Oh, baby, no be crying. Let person love you, I love you, baby, yes, I love you, baby, oh, baby, tell me why, you dare take your time, just call me, baby, mine, you're a baby, take my number, oh, take my number, maybe you can call boy. Me get a little problem. I have a little problem. Baby, please tell me if you solve them. Oh, only my baby can solve them. This one no be money problem. No, this one no be money problem. I just need some cuddling on the low. Oh my gosh. Young boy in a big man push. Young boy with the big man pulse. Tarodo, you got too much sauce. Oh my gosh. Young boy in a big man push. The way you need now, only me get time. Chop him like Tozo. Do you know I bought in a fire? Now you go tire. Enjoyment informate. I believe your government, your legislate. So make we communicate and start to relate. Every time that we spend, I appreciate. So for your informate. I believe your government, your legislate. So make we communicate and start to relate. Every time we spend, I appreciate, yeah. Me get a little problem. I have a little problem. Shy don't fool for my system, oh. Shy don't dig my system. Now this one turn biggie problem, oh. This one turn biggie problem. I just need some cuddling on the low. Oh my gosh. Young boy in a biggie man push. Young boy with the biggie man pulse. Carodo, you got too much sauce. Oh my gosh. Young boy in a biggie man push. The way you need now, only me get time. Chop him like Tozo. Say you know I bought in the fire. Now you go tired. Enjoyment minister, just stay wild. When you come again, I bought in the fire. Now you go tired. Enjoyment minister, just stay wild. So for your informate, I believe your government, your legislate. So make we communicate and start to relate. Every time that we spend, I appreciate. So for your informate, I believe your government, your legislate. So make we communicate and start to relate. Every time we spend, I appreciate, yeah. No darling,
my manager telephone blowing up like a dynamite. If I'm ever on the crater cover, I'll be faded. So haters be wondering how I am everyone's favorite. If you want on my P, if you go meet them for the last place, I urinate that. Convoy, that's how I came. Loud up in that white range. Ice neck, I got 9 chains on ice red, just like night train. I'll be yellow up in your faces, bro. Okay, now they call me acne. Who's on the stop on today? See blood. So you better come with napkins. Phantom with that whip, go. Phantom with that bit, go. Oh, granny, no be by power, niggas acting like Omari Hardwick. Fucking A-list, every damn verse on your playlist. The boy A-stick, getting green like Neo in the Matrix. Finger point a nigga who been saying shit. Tell me who talk and who now who say? Tell me who talk and who now who say we know the make making couple million for a show. Now who say we know the pool crowd step on the stage and the cardi roll. Now who say we know the cardi gals taking bitches in the money mode. Now who say Drops messages to me, I don't send them. Drop. Post shades at the boy, all I do is wear them. Swag. They say we know that they're class, but we school in demand them. K's the word, now let the conversation end it. Man, you can't come at the dogs like that. But let's see how we play you right back. If a girl bring it close, I'ma tap that. If the IG post, I'ma double tap that. Chop up and get smart, now when I come get it, stack up and get cash, I'm the one with it. Back up and get smart, then fuck around with me. Act up and get sacked up with the pumping it. Phantom with that whip, go. Phantom with that bit, go. Oh, granny, no be by power, niggas acting like Omari Hardwick. Fucking A-list, every damn verse on your playlist. The boy A-stick, getting green like Neo in the Matrix. Finger point a nigga who been saying shit, tell me who talk and who now who say who talk and who now who say we know the make making couple million for a show. Now who say we know the pool crowd step on the stage at the cardi roll. Now who say we know the cardi gals taking bitches in the money mode. Now who say
quit talking that smack, boy. They call me king, and we all kings in any city. Come rain, come sunshine. Say we stay ready.
Push based on the kind setting, but even she don't know I dey try getting.
This chick got me up on the snap matter. She real fine. She said her name was Agatha. She know the FaceTime. She dey minimize data, so I dey buy airtime for me big papa.
I can't rearrange am, use my new tactics. The way I dey toast, you will think I do practice. I dey tickle the fancy of a true bad chick, like I did magic. It was too rapid.
My G's don't know why I provide the funds. Love ma, cause she got the junk in the trunk. I dey try show, sin I stunt at the stunts. Wait I show, baby, what is it you want?
She said, give me something light. Give me something light. Give me something light. I'm not really hungry. Something light.
Come again. She said, give me something light. She wants something light. She said, give me something light. She wants something light.
That is how she gave them. That is how the date went. Shorty keep my dreams with only that statement. She said she will knock me if I will have patience. I wouldn't even touch if she was stuck.
Yeah, I was in shock. How come you're not talking right? See, I can't give you something light. When we spoke on the phone, you were sounding nice. I'm in hot pepper soup of the catfish type.
I did weave, I did dojo when I see trap. You want something light, but you order 6 wraps, order meat pie, order pizza, and you still pack take away for your sister.
And your eyes on the plate of the next guy. 1 liter Coke, please. I don't like the pet size. You don't have spag. Yeah, please help me get rice. If it's not too much, or you add French fries.
She said, give me something light. Give me something light. Give me something light. I'm not really hungry. Something light.
Come again. She said, give me something light. She wants something light. She said, give me something light. She wants something light.
I want to be going home. I will not sleep here. Can you give me something light for thief here? Not even thanks for coming. You are wicked. It's not like I'm hungry, yo. I'm a big girl. Ogbologbo, she dey search for my guy. I told her wait first, I go bless you after. You said you go bow when you check the matter. This one we are doing is just dress rehearsal.
You want something light, something nice, but you're still wearing bra when I'm off in light. It's your own attitude, it is soft in mic, and I'm taking shit easy, but it's not skin tight. And it don't seem right, cause you want to be great, but you kill the morale, take it straight to the grave. I'll be that number one, you could call me the gay, and I know what you want, so just cut to the chase.
She said, give me something light. Give me something light. Give me something light. I'm not really hungry. Something light.
Come again. She said, give me something light. She wants something light. She said, give me something light. She wants something light.
She said, give me something light.
If you tell me to sit, girl, I will start you. Now you be like lady for my heart. And I will do anything just to make you my wife. Metonye di menu, metonye di menu, metonye di menu, makono no. Metonye di menu, metasa di menu, metonye di menu, makono no.
See, babe, you're my second half, so I will make a full match.
Why we make a full match?
So you can really know because you need my school badge.
Like a school badge.
Baby, Biapolo Nazi, no Nazuka, my school bag.
Look at my school bag.
Copper show, I'm your service, can you copper, baby boo badge.
Baby boo badge.
Baby, come through. Can you get another in Istanbul? Now you love it, they like my guy, love her, she like my guy, turn on my guy to John Bull. John Bull. We are couple rich. You order name with Tola, it's for tolerate. No matter your bonus, say we no fit to separate. So full calendar come on, baby, no fit double date.
Nah. Lady for my heart. If you tell me to sit, girl, I will start you. Now you be like lady for my heart. And I will do anything just to make you my wife. Metonye di menu. Metonye di menu, metonye di menu, makono no. Metonye di menu, metasa di menu, metonye di menu, makono no.
Wow, oh yeah, varsity. Mwa gwa bu fazo follow na my stew. Love my lebina the rock and Nigeria move your golo na party 1 and 1 party 2. You want party 2. My main cheeky. All this other girls put your side cheeky. Akarayana kamunenu bed, breakfast in bed. Yes, I'm that romantic. Roma, mama tuga kana blum blum. Unless it's cherry wapi head again a blum blum. On a de package chanya, put a orange chanya, put a talonago musabeli tuntum. Malama no give me lunja be mas 7:30. Hey, mas 7:30. And then again the father come and well anya 5:30. More ready anya 5:30.
Hey, lady for my heart. If you tell me to sit, girl, I will start you. Now you be like lady for my heart. Yeah.
What you say?
Tiwa Shaba. B-Bang doesn't knock exclusive.
Yeah. Superstar DJ.
Now me they make them look fine girls them they show me ass. Them say I be that shoko, why yo, Shake on me load where you want to me last night. I swear to God, you feel my temper. Sexy mama, me and my kachuku, I go call you back. My money bigger than your money. Oh, my niggas and for money. My money bigger than your money. Oh, my niggas and for money. I the boost, me I just the dengue. I the boost, I the dengue. I the boost, oh, Paula, come me say I the boost, I the dengue.
Still I me that make them turn up. When I come through, fine boys, they show me love. My money just they pile up, high up. We popping bottles in the air. Stepping at the place, people just they holla. Everybody knows, no one does it better. Sexy done that, I'm back at Chuku. I go call you back, me I go call you back, yeah. My money bigger than your money. Exclusive, take from the deck and we go kill it. Solid start, you was savage with the relay. The baddest, yeah, Maven represent.
I the boost, me I just the dengue. I the boost, I the dengue. I the boost, oh Paula, Bonita. I the boost, I the dengue. I the boost, me I just the dengue. I the boost,
me I just the dengue.
I the dengue. I the boost, oh Paula, Bonita. I the boost. I the dengue.
Exclusive. You know, say the party no be happen if I don't do. Here we go. Oh yeah, boss. Oh yeah, dengue. Oh yeah, boss.
My name is Sheila Obisefa, the Black Commandant of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm a comedian to the core, a Nigerian to the core. And you know what the core means. That is that center of that thing that makes it what it really is. And that is why I turn up my vibe when I watch Core Vibes on Core TV News. Don't touch that dial, keep watching.
Welcome, baby. Get up. Get up now. All the girls that I want shake it. All the girls that I want shake it. All the girls that I want shake it. Shake it, shake it. Baby, I go take care of you, passing on need. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? All your problems, I know say solution, na ego. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? Mama born you, your mama born you well, and you're beautiful too. I want to hold you, I want to hold you. Girl, I love you, girl, I wanna love you well. I know you fell in love, but nobody got you. When I got to your body, oh, baby, sick of me, your door, your body, oh. Now you wake up on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh. Baby, sick of me, your door, your body, oh. Now you wake up on my money, oh. Girl, I want to know who be who. You go top level. Where are you, Scooby-Doo? Most of your friends now Baloo. Malo rekrekete, malo rekrekete. Thunder fire the person. We say I no go love you. Mama born you, your mama born you, and you're beautiful too. I want to hold you, I wanna hold you. Girl, I love you, girl, I wanna love you. I know you fell in love, but nobody got you. When I got to your body, oh, baby, sick of me, your door, your body, oh. Now you wake up on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh. Baby, sick of me, your door, your body, oh. Now you wake up on my money, oh. I'm gonna stick with you like a bamboo. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? Pepper the rest, tomato. Are you getting me? Yeah. Are you getting me? When I get to your body, oh. Baby, sick of me, your door,
your body, oh. Now you wake up chop on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh. Grab it, this me your door, your body, oh. Now you wake up chop on my money, oh. You know say I go shashamura, 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 oh baby, shashamura, oh, shashamura, oh baby. Forget about up young girlie, only me and you, baby, just me and you, baby, oh, yeah.
Don't need no liquor. I've got the energy to light up the world. My love far away me up. 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 Rashid, well, that's a form of Panade. So como para de. Are you begging? Are you begging to dance? Are you willing? Are you willing to move? Are you begging? Are you begging to dance? Are you ready to move? I'm sicker. And even other girls they tell me I'm sicker. And I don't need no liquor.
Consequence.
Baby, I go party for you go, yeah. I'm dumpy, I don't dirty. We got this auntie, wait up best money. Lọ́jọ́ tá ń wí yìí, ojú mi ríre. Na so this brother, pointing the finger, àṣé na brother Túndé, waste time with my mama, tí n bá náwó ìgbàjúlù yín, I feel like you like cigar, no be say mo ti rí yín, fi yín supposed to go sit down, lódì mi. Mo ra dòdò nídò, mo jẹ dòdò nídò, mo tún fọwọ́ dòdò rọwọ́ ní dòdò ní dòdò. Mo ra dòdò nídò, mo jẹ dòdò nídò, mo tún fọwọ́ dòdò rọwọ́ ní dòdò ní dòdò. Lódì mi so.
Consequence.
Only my everybody, ní dòdò. Lódì mi so. Only my everybody, ní dòdò. Say mama coffee, Abenesi, all this your balling, you know be your money. Time go tell it, I say time go tell it. We go here and for radio, I be on telly. Now so this brother, pointing the finger, I say na brother Tunde, what's come my mama? Timba no wo igbadulu yin, I feel like you like cigar. No be say mo ti ri yin, fi you supposed to go sit down. Blow the whistle, do do ni do, mo je do do. Only my everybody forward, do do, no money, do do ni do. Blow the whistle, do do ni do, mo je do do. Only my everybody forward, do do ni do, do do ni do. Blow the whistle, do do ni do, mo je do do. Only my everybody forward, do do, no money, do do ni do. Blow the whistle, do do ni do. Only my everybody
Consequence.
DJ consequence. Oh, yeah, fun one time. Causability. Oh, yeah, dosability. DJ consequence. Ìwọ lọmọ tó sọ. Come my lovability. One way. Ability.
Sounds start to feel me now. As I want grace, I want to bubble you for my grace. As I want grace, I want to bubble you for my grace. Oh yeah, when we start to do the gaga shuffle, start to do the gaga shuffle. Oh yeah. Gaga shuffle. Start to do the Gaga shuffle. Oh, yeah, start to do the Gaga shuffle. Make we start to bubble. As with the bubble, make we hustle. So when the money show, you go double. Maybe smart thing, no. Everybody know the truth, oh. And everybody get plan, no. Tonight's the night, make we execute them, no. And as we get fire, light them in them see when they know when they start to buga. No go think I'm because the rumors fire. Oh yeah, as I want grace, I want to bubble you for my grace. As I want grace, I want to bubble you for my grace. That's so. Oh yeah, when we start to do the Gaga shuffle. The Gaga shuffle. Oh yeah, make it start to do the Gaga shuffle. Start to do the Gaga shuffle. I want to carry you, I want to involve you, I want to follow you, I want to see you through. I want to carry you, I want to involve you, I want to follow you, I want to see you through.
Rain on the mix.
Legendary beat. Legendary beat. Legendary beat.